Hello, hello everyone. I'm MVL and welcome to an MVL Gaming live stream. Today we're going to take a look at my Xbox 360 physical collection. This is over 150 games, including classics and hidden gems. This is going to be a lot of fun, so without further ado, let's get started. The first game I'm going to show you guys starts with 0, and that is 007 Legends. Legends! I should hold it with this hand maybe. Getting used to, I have a new light, so you might see a lot more light than you've seen previously. But let's bring this game to light. And this game, there's instructions, well there's a note on the front here saying it includes a Skyfall mission that you can unlock. That's not strictly true. Hey, Mr. No Life, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Straight out of the gate, we're less than a minute away, and we're still in the zeros. So it's good timing, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, it says it includes a Skyfall mission that you can unlock. That is not true at all. You need to unlock it. I believe there is a code or something in here where you just download it for free. It's, I think it's a first-person shooter, or it might be a third-person shooter. I honestly don't remember. I think it's a first-person shooter. But I believe that the best version of this you can get is on the Wii, because the Wii version will have this mission included. Hey, no worries, Miss No Life. I appreciate you being here, my friend. It's always good to see you. But yeah, that mission you can't download anymore, and this is one of those things, like, I don't really consider Xbox 360 retro gaming. You know, it's not that old. It may be old to some people, but it's not that old, you know. I don't really consider it retro gaming, even though it's, you know, it's like one generation behind or whatever. Hey, Otaku, welcome to stream, my friend. Thanks for dropping that like, buddy. Much appreciated, my friend. But even so, you get games that came out with DLC that was included as standard, that you can't download anymore. And this is one such instance. You can't download that mission, which is really, really annoying, really, because it would have been cool. And this is complete with the disc and manual in there, which is the right way up. So there you go. 007 Legends, first one to start us off. Alright, next up we have a hidden gem, I would say. And this is Ake Katana. And I'm holding them with this hand, I think, so I can get it in the light properly. This is a shooter game. Anything 15 plus years to be retro. That's a good shout. You know, I would stretch to like the PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn. I would consider them retro. But for disc-based media, it's tough. But then again, disc-based media doesn't last as long as cartridges. This is a shooter, scrolling shooter. It's a really good one, actually. Hidden gem, I would say. Hidden gem. It's a bullet hell, so you better be ready to dodge them bullets. You'd better be ready, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I enjoy this one a lot, and it's one of those ones I think that has like a super easy setting as well, so you can play it regardless of your skill level. Complete with a disc and manual there as well. Yeah, I really like this game. I would consider it a hidden gem. Ake Katana. It's a shooter, scrolling shooter, bullet hell. Hey Juliana, welcome to the stream, my friend. Thank you for smashing that like, much appreciated. The more likes we have, the more people can catch the stream. At least that's what YouTube says. Indeed, we're close to a milestone, my friends, and it's thanks to you guys for subscribing to the channel. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you guys spending time out of your day to be with me. You guys are amazing. We're going to have a lot of fun, actually. We've got a lot of good games to look at, and we're in the A's, my friends, so we have a good game to look at. It's been talked about a fair bit recently, because Remedy has had a new game come out, Control, recently. It is Alan Wake. And this is a really good game, actually. You know, I didn't get it when it came out. I was late to pick this up. But when I picked it up, couldn't put it down. This game is amazing. Psychological action thriller. Really cool game. Hey, hand in a bag. Welcome, my friend. How you doing? One of the best consoles is the Xbox 360. Yeah, 360 is a very good console. It has a fair few problems. At least mine does, though. Mine has a lot of screen tearing. Mine is really loud with the disc in, and I found my wired controller keeps disconnecting recently. So I have my issues with it, but it is a great controller. It had a lot of great games. Alan Wake is a masterpiece. You play Control, yeah, Mr. No, if you've been playing Control, right? It's a really cool looking game. I want to get my hands on it. I'm just waiting for it to drop in price because you know, new games will drop in price, and you know, if I pick up a new game, I probably won't get to play it for quite a while anyway, so I'm best off just waiting. But Alan Wake, really, really good game. Really enjoyed this. I streamed it. I believe Remedy have gone to Sony. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe Remedy has the rights to this game again from Xbox, as this was an Xbox 360 exclusive at the time, or at least console exclusive. So I believe they have the rights to do more Alan Wake content again, which is very good news. So there could be more Alan Wake stuff in the horizon, and I think one of the DLCs for Control will be Alan Wake related. At least I've heard anyway. That looks pretty cool. Sony don't own Remedy. Okay, yeah, there's me talking nonsense. I think there were rumors of that a while ago. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But regardless, Remedy has the rights to Alan Wake again, which is good news. At least in that instance, I think I'm right. The early arcade versions had the Red Ring of Death. That is true. That is true. Remedy got the publishing rights back. Oh, cool. It's cool. I don't know what I was talking about with Sony. I'm sure I heard some news, but then never believe anything on the internet. You know, I am simply an illusion, my friends, so never believe anything on the internet, because I'm just a hologram. Yeah, I think my first Xbox 360 had the red ring, and then my other one I had some weird problem with that I had to switch as well. Next up, we have Alice. Madness Returns. Woo! Control and Alan Wake in the same universe. Yeah, I heard about that. It's really cool, actually. This is a really good game from American McGee, who is a somewhat master of horror, or pretty much creepy games. You may have heard of American McGee with previous games, such as Scrapland. And of course, the original Alice game as well. This game, when I got it, it says here it has an online pass. But I didn't need to use any code or anything at all when I put this disc in my Xbox 360. It actually let me download Alice, the first game, for free, which was really cool. So yeah, don't quote me on this, but I imagine if you own this game, you can just download Alice, the original game, for free, which is really cool. Because sometimes I have issues running PC games. It's great to have a console version, even though it's not physical. There are rumors Sony will buy Remedy. Oh, cool. Okay, I see. So I wasn't just talking complete madness. And this includes, I don't think it has a manual, but it has a little flyer with T-shirts and stuff. Because a lot of games don't get manuals these days anymore, which is a thing. Do I have Dead Rising? We shall see. Actually, you know, I'm not gonna slow roll Dead Rising, because if you look way back on the channel, I live streamed Dead Rising before, so I do have it. I do have Dead Rising. It'll be in the D's, but we shall see it. It will be done. Alright. Aliens vs. Predator is next. You miss manuals. I miss manuals as well. I need manuals to tell me how the game's control. This game does have a manual. I was recording this today for a pickup video. If you watching the video on the channel for the first time, you may not know I do pickup videos. They're offline videos, but they contain gameplay footage for every game I pick up in a month. And then normally the feature video on the channel about or game hunting. And I've been recording this for a pickup video to come. It's actually pretty fun, but I did have to use the manual for the controls. Aliens vs Predator, you can play as Marines, Aliens, and Predator. It's not that bad, it's pretty cool. I was playing as the Marines. It's quite horror at the start, and I like that. It was a bit of a slow build, and then it got a bit, dare I say Doom-like, a bit Twitch shooter in the middle. So I didn't mind it, and it does have a manual, so I was able to play the controls. Find out the controls, I should say. There you go. Quite like it. And I'm liking that I have more light now. I got a lamp. I got a lamp, so I have more light. So hopefully you can see me a bit better, and you can see the game covers, even though I do have to position them a little differently. Next up is a game that I do not care for very much, and that is Alone in the Dark on the Xbox 360. Now, don't get me wrong, my friends. Don't get me wrong, I love Alone in the Dark, the game series. Absolutely love it. But I don't like this game. I don't like this at all. Hey, Geronimo Alpha, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing? Alphabetical order, exactly. All of my games are in alphabetical order. It is absolute madness to put your games in anything other than alphabetical order as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, how would you find something? And if you have a big game collection, you will never be able to find, or you know, you might buy something twice if you don't put them in order. You got to put them in alphabetical order. This is an old one. Yeah, this game, I mean, what's funny is Maxim gave it 4 out of 5 and FHM gave it 4 out of 5, so you can't really trust them. I have grown to like this game a little better because I recorded gameplay footage for this for a pickup video, and I recorded footage for this for a Patreon exclusive Let's Play I did. But it's still not good. It's still not good. A to Z is the best order, I know, right? This game, I guess it's trying to be more of an action horror than a you know, survival horror. like the original games that you might have seen on the 3DO and whatnot. But man, the start of this game has you using like a blinking mechanic to be able to see, and then you're putting out electrical fires with a fire extinguisher, and you're climbing electrical cables, and it's just grueling. It really is. So, you know, I got about half an hour into this game, which took me about 2 hours after, you know, of playing to get half an hour in, from various deaths of just not being able to jump over fire and things like that. But yeah, don't really care for it. Maybe it gets better, but I don't know. We ported to different systems, so maybe there's a better version out there. Next up, we have Alpha Protocol, the espionage RPG. It says. This is a somewhat stealth shooter. If you go along those lines, I believe you have combat controls in it as well. To my memory, this wasn't that bad. This wasn't so bad. It was pretty cool. I have recorded gameplay footage for this as well. GG, I know, right? You gotta have GG to play Alone in the Dark on the Xbox 360. You definitely have to. But I believe that game wasn't that bad. Remember that one? Yeah, I think it wasn't so bad. All right, next up we have Anarchy Reigns Limited Edition. The limited edition, I think, has Bayonetta as a Bayonetta skin. So on the back here, I think that's Bayonetta's booty right there. I think maybe, I don't know. Hey, Weird Game Collector from Mars, welcome to the stream, my friend. You love the 360. It is a great system, is it not? This one includes Bayonetta, I think, as an extra character. And the only thing they don't tell you about this is you can't do any of the multiplayer modes, even offline, without gold. So I was trying to capture footage for this when I had it for a pickup video, and I couldn't get multiplayer footage because you needed gold, and I don't have gold. So that was a bit annoying, because, you know, eventually when gold goes, you won't be able to play that at all, even locally, which is pretty silly. But that has a disc and manual incomplete, and it wasn't that bad, to be fair. It wasn't terrible. That works for you, Mr. No Life. Whatever works for you, it works for me, my friend. Next up, we have Angry Birds Trilogy. This will be in the next pickup video, this month's pickup video, which is coming real soon, actually. I'm finishing off the gameplay footage. I got about 6 more games to record, and then I've already done some of the video as well. Just need to do the narration, which is going to take a couple of days, so it should be after next week at some point. This isn't that bad, actually. I've never played an Angry Birds game before. I think maybe at my friend Odin's place, I went over to his place and we played this with a Kinect, because it says it's better with a Kinect. It's not terrible, but it's very simple gameplay. You throw the birds and you hit blocks and you have to destroy, I think, pigs or something that have stolen your eggs. So I've been playing this today to capture gameplay footage, so that's why it's so fresh in my mind, but it's okay. I know that there was a big craze on this game series on mobile phones. People were like mad about this game, but it's okay. Like, I didn't hate it. It was okay. That's Angry Birds Trilogy. All right, next up we have Assassin's Creed. Now, I picked up a bunch of Assassin's Creed games, actually, at car boot sale for like £1 or £2. I didn't play them when they came out, but I'm growing to love them slowly. I just need to find the time to actually play through them. But yeah, they're kind of like stealth action games, action stealth games, or platformers. Classic games. They're pretty cool. The only problem I would say is the story is quite out there. So if you want to jump in on like a later game, the story is already way over the place and you need to have a bit of inside knowledge. You don't really need to, but it might be a bit confusing whatever's going on. Which certainly on the later games I found the story a little bit confusing. But yeah, other than that, the gameplay is solid. The gameplay is pretty solid on these. Quite a lot of fun. But action gameplay includes the disc and the manual. Of course, if I can get the disc and the manual complete in a game, I will. Otherwise, I will be a bit sad. Alright. And of course, with that, for a couple of pounds as well, I also picked up Assassin's Creed 2. Now, awesome series. It is, isn't it, Weird Game Collector? I think these are actually better off on the PlayStation 3, because I know on the PlayStation 3 versions of some of these you get extra content, because they're on Blu-rays, they could fit extra stuff on the disc, like I think one of the later games had the first Assassin's Creed Remastered or something like that. But nevertheless, it's a great game series. And these games are pretty fun to play. I need to find the time. There's so many game series that I need to find the time to go for. There's like an Avatar advertisement in here. Extra content for Avatar the game, okay? Hey Nightcore, welcome to the stream, my friend. Indeed, you're here in good time, my friend. We're still, well, I was about to say we're still on the A's, but we just finished off because next up is Batman. Nana, 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 nana. And this is in a box protector. Just because I love this game so much, I wanted to keep it nice and in good condition. So it's in a box protector from My Game Vault. They're very good. They're very good, my friends. I did a review of the box protectors from My Game Vault, so you can check that out on the channel. This is the Game of the Year edition, which has a reflective cover. I don't know if you guys can see this. The only thing this is missing is 3D glasses. It should have had 3D glasses inside, but I got this in a charity shop for £5. It was a very good deal. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was awesome too. Nice! One of your all-time faves. Yeah, this is a great game. I streamed these on the PlayStation 4, but I'm thinking about going back and streaming the 360 versions because the graphics are different. But that's how much I love these game series, because I very rarely revisit games, but I'm thinking about going back and doing the 360 ones. I know, I just love this case. The case brought me to this and made me want to buy it. So there you go, and this should be complete. Other than the 3D glasses, this should have everything in there. If you see Arkham City, you'll be happy. You may well be happy. You may well be happy. You may well be doubly happy, Nightcore, in just a moment. So let's move on from this one. I'm going to go put this away carefully and try and get it back in the sleeve without damaging it. The only thing I don't like about sleeves is sometimes they can get scuffed up. From Zero to Hero, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing? You're in good time. We've got plenty more games to go. Plenty more games. Alright, let's put that back. See, the way I'm putting these back as well, I can put them back in alphabetical order as well, fairly easily as well. Next up, we have Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition. Game of the Year Edition includes some bonus content. It includes the final chapter, Harley Quinn's Revenge, as well. And I believe this includes the extra content on the disc. I believe it's all on the disc. You got FIFA 19 Nightcore Hitman. You know what? In the charity shop that I got Batman Arkham City from, they had FIFA 19. It might be 19 or 17 on the PlayStation. It must have been 17 for the PlayStation 3. They had it for £8. £8 for an old FIFA game was, you know, charity shop prices are crazy. You can see all the accolades on this. 9 out of 10. Must buy for Xbox 360. This is an absolute great game. Love this game. Love that you could play as Catwoman as well. And of course, this one has 2 discs as well, including the bonus content on there as well, which is really cool. So I'm very happy about that. And as well as this, I also have another copy. Why do I have another copy? This is a variant, and I actually like variants for games that I really love. So I do have this as well. And this is I want to say this is the Robin edition, but the case is different, so that's what I like about it. You bought FIFA 16 on PS4 for $10 US. Okay, so maybe it was worth that. The thing is, charity shops tend to go for like eBay prices, well, at least the ones near me do. And this has a reflective cover as well, which might not come across. It might not come across, but this is a reflective cover. So that is pretty cool, and I had to pick this up. And the back is different as well. Instead of Harley Quinn, it's got Catwoman on, which is very cool. So I'm very happy about this variant. And if I love a game enough, I will get a variant case because it's just awesome. And of course, in this as well, it has the discs. Well, I should say disc because this one only has 1 disc. It doesn't have the bonus content on it. I believe it has some DLC on a card in there as well. But yeah, I had to get myself a variant of this because I absolutely love Arkham City. So there you go. Yeah, Robin is on the case, and he's only in a little bit of the game. That is true. That is true. You get to control a lot of Catwoman though, which is really cool because Catwoman is a really cool character to play because her fighting style is a little different from Batman, which is nice. All right, let me go put this back in its protective case. All right, put that away. Next up, what do you imagine is next up, my friends? Well, since we're on the Batman train already. Let's jump off at Arkham Origins, the complete edition. Now, I do have a little bit of a gripe about this game. And that is the wording of it being the complete edition. Now, obviously this does have the extra content on. This is not a reflective case, and this is actually a really difficult version to find. It's really difficult to find this version, my friends, especially for the 360. And Arkham Origins, I love Arkham Origins. I have no problem with the game whatsoever. What the problem I have is the complete edition has all of the extra content. It has all of the extra content on there, but when I take the sleeve away, this is just a regular version. All of the extra content is on a DLC card, and it's not actually on the game, which is a real disappointment. It's a real bummer that they couldn't get it on there. And yeah, there's a load of DLC cards in here, but alas, as far as I know, there's no physical complete edition. I mean, this is the physical complete edition, but no edition with the content actually on a disc for Arkham Origins, which is a real disappointment. But you know, I still have that. I hold out hope that at some point they might make a port of it to something where you can get everything on a disc. But until then, that's as good as you're gonna get. And this sort of thing started happening towards the end of the Xbox 360 cycle. Where you just wouldn't get content on the disc, and of course it's very common these days, which is unfortunate. But there you go. Alright, the remake, yeah, the graphics are a little different on the remakes as well, which is kind of funny. Next up we have Binary Domain. Now honestly, I don't remember much about this game. I want to say it's a first-person shooter, but you know what, I have a feeling it's actually a third-person shooter, but a shooter nonetheless. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's probably third person. I know you fight machines, and it's just kind of generic. You just go blast machines. It's not bad, by any means, it's not bad. I picked it up for a couple of pounds at best. It was a fun game, it's a fun little shooter. Binary Domain. And, you know, often I'll take a gamble on a game if it's cheap, and pick it up, and that wasn't bad. Opposite problem here, as many of you guys may know. Bionic Commando for the Xbox 360. You know, you take a good game IP and you make this with it, I guess. Now, this game isn't necessarily as terrible as the rep it gets, but it's just, it doesn't live up to your expectations from the original game, what you'd expect to see on a 360 iteration, I should say. And yeah, it's a little disappointing. Again, a little bit generic, kinda, but it does have some cool stuff to it, but not the Bionic Commando we wanted. Hey, no worries, Mr. No Life. Great to have you here, my friend. Awesome to have you, and I'll catch you next time, my friend. Wrestling game, and Force Unleashed. Well, stay tuned. You never know what you're gonna see. Next up, we have. I'm reliably informed it is called Blaze Blue and not Blaz Blue, as I have said it earlier. Catch you later, Mr. No Life. Thanks for being here, my friend. You love the classic variants. I've got a couple of variants in the collection actually as well, with the box variants as well, classic and stuff. So we'll come to those in a bit. Calamity Trigger. It's a fighting game. It's actually a 2D fighting game, and this is a very popular game series. I must confess that I am not very good at it. I am not very good at this game series, but I do enjoy picking them up when I can find them for very cheap. And I believe I got this from a shop called Campbell & Games, and I got it for very cheap, so I can't complain there. So it was a pretty good pickup in that regard. And then next up here, we have Blaze Blue Continuum Shift Limited Edition. And this is a limited edition. This also includes an art book and stuff which is elsewhere in the game room, actually, because I like to keep the limited edition. There's the extra stuff it contains. It has an art book, but I like to keep my limited edition stuff in good nick, so I keep that away so that it's not out and can get damaged. But there you go. There's the limited edition. And as you can imagine, that art book is pretty outrageous. I think I showed it at the end. Sometimes at the end of regular streams, I show off some pickups. I actually have a couple of pickups I can show you off at the end of this stream. And I showed off that art book, and yeah, it's pretty outrageous. What is an outrageously good game though is Blue Dragon for the Xbox 360. This is an RPG exclusive to the Xbox 360. And this is a darn fine one as well. A darn fine game. Very good, very highly rated. Just a great game. Again, remarked as a must-buy, given several great accolades, as you can see on the back there. An absolutely great game. And this one is quite hefty. It's got a big manual, which I like, which is included there as a disc as well. It's a pretty cool game. And if you haven't checked out Blue Dragon, I would say it's a hidden gem. I'd say it's a hidden gem only in the fact that it's on the 360, and I know a lot of people were PlayStation 3 only during this period, so they may not have played it. You should definitely give it a chance. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Now, a game that was all over the place and is a classic variant, as was aforementioned, is Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. Now, this includes a bunch of extra content, and it's on the disc. The complete collection includes the game and all 4 add-on packs, and a Pandora map in there as well. So there's a map in there, which is pretty cool. I believe all of the content for this is on the disc. Also, if you put in any version of Borderlands, I think, any Borderlands disc from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, I believe it will download the Game of the Year edition regardless of what you put in. So you will get all of the extra content regardless of what disc you put in, if you put it in an Xbox One, which is pretty cool. So there you go, and yep, this does include some extra discs in there as well. So you have a bunch of manuals and then a bunch of discs as well. I actually like this this case as well, how it has this separate instead of on one. But to be fair, these disc mechanisms can sometimes damage the discs as well, how they're put in. All right, next up we have Borderlands: The Double Game Add-on Pack. So this is essentially physical DLC. It's on the disc, and this contains the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned and Moxie's Underdome Riot. There you go. And these are physical versions. I picked it up just as an oddity. Obviously, I have no need of this, having the Game of the Year edition. But Borderlands is a great game series, so I had to pick up extra variants that I can grab. So there you go. That also includes the disc and manual. It's pretty cool. Next up, we have Brutal Legend. Yeah. Alright, this is a rock and roll action game. And I'll kind of describe it as like a beat 'em up with platforming elements. I believe the main character has the voice of Jack Black, unless I'm wrong there, and it has a load of cameos like Lemmy from Motorhead and things like that. So lots of rock and roll connections in this game. Yeah, on the back it says Jack Black is Eddie Riggs from Roadie to Rock God, as it describes the game. Very cool game. Very cool game. And with the disc and manual as well. How about that? Alright, next up. Next up we have Bullet Witch. Yeah, this is I would describe this game kind of like Bayonetta. If you play Bayonetta, it's like an action, I'd say hack and slash, but you can also shoot. That's going to probably come up a lot because you get a lot of games like that. Plays a little like Devil May Cry really as well. Aussie, lol. Yeah, biting off the heads of bats, or so we've heard. And this is actually a pretty good game again. Another game I would probably consider this a hidden gem. So I was thinking about doing a PlayStation hidden gems video, but maybe I should also be considering doing an Xbox 360 hidden gem. Because I think this is one of those games that may have gone under the radar, and it's pretty darn good. Alright, next up we have Bulletstorm. This is a first-person shooter, and it's a really good one. I believe the PlayStation 4 recently had a re-release of this, which also included Duke Nukem as a bonus character, in the same way that Gears... Are we on Gears 5 now? I'm going to say Gears 5. In the same way that Gears 5 had Batista as a bonus character, it just sort of replaces the main character and doesn't really affect the story so much. But Bulletstorm is a really good game, actually. It's kind of unsung. It deserves a sequel, and it never got one. It definitely deserves a sequel. And that is a cool game. And I also have a variant for this as well. As you guys know, if I really like a game, I will pick up a variant. So I have this variant, which is the Bulletstorm Epic Edition. And the only difference in this version is the outer packaging, and it includes a Gears of War 3 beta invitation, which is, I guess, lets you play it online early. And that's the only difference in this version whatsoever. Other than that, there's absolutely no difference. The team was pulled off of making Bulletstorm 2 actually to work on Gears of War, so you can kind of blame Gears of War for there not being a Bulletstorm 2. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And there you go. More accurate information than I gave about Remedy and Sony anyway. That's the only difference whatsoever. Other than that, exactly the same game. Same game disc, in fact, as well. How do I feel about FIFA 19? I haven't played FIFA 19. Bully Scholarship Edition is the next game. But I did play a bunch of FIFA games on my GameCube. And I actually enjoyed them. They were good multiplayer games. But I don't play many sports games outside of wrestling games, personally. Unless you count Mario Tennis and things like that. Bully Scholarship Edition. This is by far an enhancement on the PlayStation 2's Canis Carmen Edit Dog Eat Dog game. This version includes a lot of extra content, as well as, of course, of the enhancements to the graphics, and being widescreen makes this by far a better version. Hey RPs, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. I believe this also includes a map as well, which is pretty cool. But this is a great game. This is a great game. The 360 version, by far an improvement on the PS2 version, but obviously there's a lot of extra horsepower on the 360 that you wouldn't get on the PS2. That's really cool. Next up, we have a Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Ghosts. This came with my Xbox 360. I think it's called E, the last model of the 360. This came with it, and you know, I played a bit of the story on this, and it wasn't bad. But I don't know much about the Call of Duty game series. I think one of them is a shooter. It comes with a season pass in there, which I probably haven't used. Yeah, I played this a little bit, but I haven't played many of the Call of Duty games, to be fair. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but you know, it's not really my thing. All right, next up, we have the Capcom Digital Edition, Bully's Magic. Bully is a great game, isn't it? Need a sequel with Ghost? Yeah. I know it's a very well-received game series. I don't know much about it myself. I think I played some of the early games though. The Capcom Digital Collection is really good. These are 8 games that were on the Xbox Live Marketplace on disc. This is really cool. It's got Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, 1942 Joint Strike, Bionic Commando, Rearm 2. It's just got a ton of good stuff. Final Fight Double Impact is on here. My goodness, this is a great collection. So if you're looking for hidden gems for the Xbox 360, 8 great games on one disc. I don't believe I have a manual. Oh, I do have a manual. It's just very light. Just very light. There you go. Ghost was despised until Advanced Warfare was made. Alright, next up we have Conan for the Xbox 360. I believe this is a European exclusive. I could be wrong, but I think I said that about the original Xbox Conan game. So there you go. One of them is European exclusive, and it's an action adventure game. It's pretty good. You get to do whatever the stuff that Conan would do: kill monsters, and gain the adulation of women, or however Arnie says it. Just run for your enemies, or whatever it was. Hey Daniel, welcome, my friend. How are you doing? Dan Houser is the character in Bully game. Yeah, it's a really good version, actually, the 360 version. Next up is Condemned, which I probably should be for my Arnie quote. Great survival horror game, actually. I think this one is in first person, and you get to use the environment. There's a lot of action in this game, actually, so maybe I shouldn't really call it survival horror. A lot of action in it. But you get to use the environment to your advantage as well. You good? That's good to hear, Daniel. Great to see you, my friend. Oh, no manual, though. First game without a manual, I think. Well, first game without a manual that is intended not to have a manual, rather. But yeah, there you go. Condemned. Actually, a pretty good game. One you guys might want to seek out if you haven't heard of it. And I liked it so much that I also picked up Condemned 2. Because this is also a pretty good game. And I believe this one, if I have this right, this game has more sort of a... since you're a detective, it's got more sort of forensic style gameplay where you have to do a bit of problem solving, which brings down the pace of it a little bit, to be fair. But it's still got some good combat involved, so it's still a lot of fun. Condemned 2. Alright, next up, we have Dark. Now, you have no problem seeing this, my friends, because I have an extra light now, as I mentioned at the start of the stream. I believe this was a kind of vampire stealth game. It's interesting. It's an interesting game. I think if I remember this correctly, this was pretty hard though. But it was pretty cool. Unless I have this mixed up with another vampire stealth game that was actually pretty good. But that is my recollection of this. But there's dark. I'd have to go back and look at footage I've recorded for this previously for a pickup video. But I think this one required a lot of stealth and made it pretty tough. I could be thinking of a different game we might see down the line. We're on the D's, so we will see some good D games coming up. And next up we have Darkstar 1, Broken Alliance. This is the full HD Xbox 360 version of the PC games. I had the PC version previously, and I couldn't get it to work. But this one works fine. The PC version has an extra game on it though, on the disc. I think it has a UFO game. But this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool game. The only problem I would say, actually no, I'm thinking of Project Slipheed, a different game we'll see down the list. So I actually think this one was actually all right. But often you find the controls with these are a bit awkward sometimes. Of these spaceship games. Hey, no worries, Weird Game Collector. Awesome to see you, my friend, and I will catch you next time, buddy. Alright, next up we have Dark Void, another dark game. You watched Creed 2? I need to watch that actually. I watched Creed. I was thinking about watching It in the cinema recently, but I'm not sure. It 2 rather. But I'm not sure if I might just wait on it. But then if I wait on it, my co-workers might just tell me everything that happens. No manual in this one. This one's a shooter. Where you can fly around on a jetpack. This actually wasn't that bad. The footage they have on the back of this really doesn't do it justice, because this game is actually very nice looking. And you can jump around on a jetpack and stuff. Alright, next up, we have Dead Island. This is the Game of the Year edition. This is a survival. I would more call this kind of an action survival game rather than a survival horror, but it is of course some form of horror because it has zombies in it. The Game of the Year edition includes the Dead Island game, Bloodbath Arena, and the Rider White the Ripper. I don't really know what these things are. I just go around killing zombies in this game. It's actually really fun. This game is pretty cool. Hope to hear Fable 3. Well, you'll never know. But yeah, it's kind of Fable 3 is a staple of the collection, of any Xbox 360 collection. I would probably say I have streamed Fable 1 and 2 before actually. All right, and next up I have the Dead Island double pack. This includes Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide. I believe there's a PlayStation 4 version of Dead Island, which looks a lot better. This includes the Game of the Year edition, so if you're worried about the Game of the Year edition content not being on this, it's on there. And then the Riptide Complete Edition and full DLC package on there as well. So this includes a lot of stuff. It's pretty cool. Nice to have that all on disc. There you go. Complete with the disc and manual as well. Alright. Next up, we have made it to Fortune City, my friends. So, this is an extra from the next game, which I'll leave you guessing for a little bit, but this is a little extra that came with my version of it. Welcome to, this is a tourist guide, and this includes, well, you know, it's going to give it away instantly, isn't it? Because right there you can see clips from the game, and the game advertised on the back as well. So this was a really nice promotional material bit that I got on the next game. And it also has a map included as well, which is this way up. There you go. And I believe I pre-ordered this game from Game, and that's why I got this bonus, but it's really cool. And this is Dead Rising 2, the Zombrax edition. So this is a steelbook version. It also includes Zombrax, which is like a cure for the zombie process, as long as you take it before you're zombified, of course. I'll get this out so I can show you it. But I'll also show you the Zombrax as well. And the Zombrax, it's actually really cool that they did this. Nice little addition. And it even includes safety warnings on the back for use, which is really funny. And an image of it as a needle. And if you're wondering what this actually is, it is, as I shall show you, it is a pen. But look at how the pen is shaped. That's pretty awesome, right? This is a really nice addition. Zombrax. And then on the back, it's got the measurements as well. Pretty cool. Hey, Hardcore Pink and Purple, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Don't worry, I'm not going to stab anyone. I have a fear of needles myself, so I was never going to stab anyone. How are you doing, Hardcore? Good to see you, my friend. Alright, I'm going to go put this back in the case where I got it from, and then I'll show you the steelbook. So this is the steelbook for Dead Rising 2. I have no idea where my Dead Rising 1 went, because I did play Dead Rising 1, but it just went awry. But you'll see my current version of that in just a moment. And in here, it also has a DVD included as bonus material as well. So a very cool version of Dead Rising 2. I'm a big fan of that game, and I'm very happy to have this edition. Alright. And I'm trying to keep it in good condition, because steelbooks are hard to keep in good shape. Alright, after that, oh, you know what? I was gonna say, you know, I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. I do have more Dead Rising games, but they're not directly after that because the title is ever so slightly different. And as you guys know, I go in alphabetical order, so you'll see more Dead Rising, but it's gonna be a bit later in the video. So next up we have Dead Space. We fill in the blanks. 91%. Love this game. Survival horror. A lot of shooting action in this game as well. Set in space. It's a sci-fi horror. Really, really cool game. It's one of those games, whenever I pick it up to play it for a little bit, I just can't put it down. Because it's so interesting. And I really want to stream this at some point as well. It's a very, very fun game, Dead Space. You guys have got to know and love this game. I originally played it on Games with Gold on Xbox 360, actually. So I have had Games with Gold. But if you don't have Games with Gold, I don't believe you can play the games with Gold. And I didn't maintain it because, you know, I like to physically own my games, which is, you know, what this is all about. But there you go, Dead Space. I picked up a version. I think I got it in a car boot sale real cheap. Alright, next up, we have Deadly Premonition. This game actually just got released on the Switch, a new version. I think it was called Deadly Premonition Origins or something, but there's a sequel coming out soon. 10 out of 10 is a review on the front here from Destructoid. And this was localized by Rising Star Games. And this is an adventure game. It is survival horror as well. There's a lot of survival horror aspects to it. But it's also quite weird as well. Really weird. There also is, which I own, a director's cut. I believe it's a director's cut for the PlayStation 3, which is a better version to have, I believe, because it's got extra content. But I picked this one up first for the Xbox 360, and that's how I found out about it. So you go, Deadly Premonition for the Xbox 360. Next up we have an American game, actually. And you'll notice instead of the PEGI rating, it has ESRB on the bottom here. This is Deadliest Warrior Ancient Combat. This is a fighting game based on a TV show where they would put warriors from different time zones against each other to see which was the best. And this was a lot of fun. So I went after this game because I played it, I think, at Odin, my friend Odin's place again. We played this game a little bit because he had it downloaded. I think he had it with Games with Gold or something like that. But I went after a physical copy, and I believe the only physical copy was American. So I bought an American copy. I took the risk on perhaps it not working, it maybe being region locked, but it is not. And look, there's an extra disc in here actually as well that I've just noticed, which I think this is a DVD with one of the episodes on, so that's pretty funny. It's going to be one of the episodes, or it's going to be some making of content or something like that, but that's pretty cool. Alright, Deadliest Warrior. Alright, next up, we have another hidden gem, my friends. Definitely I would consider this a hidden gem. It is Death Smiles Deluxe Edition. This is a scrolling shooter. I love this game. It's really good. And the deluxe edition includes a bunch of extra stuff as well. A bunch of extra stuff included. Another kind of bullet hell style game. Bullets flying all over the place. And this one includes a soundtrack. And I believe it also includes like extra stuff for your desktop as well. Like, you know, screen saves and all that stuff. You can choose different characters and make different decisions as you play through the game to have different paths. It's just a really good shooter. Really good shooter, Death Smiles. If you haven't heard of it and you love shooters, check it out. check it out. Death Smiles. Next up, and I never get the pronunciation of this right, I'm going to say Deus Ex. Deus Ex Human Revolution. This is the augmented edition, and I pretty much just picked this up because it was really cheap, and it includes a bunch of awesome stuff physically, which was pretty cool. And I like the box as well, it's very unusual. And this includes an additional mission, which I don't believe I was able to use because I got it second hand, making a DVD and an art book as well. And it has some other digital extras as well that I wasn't able to use. But there you go. There's the art book, and the case is very nice as well. As I open this up, the case is very nice looking, and the game was pretty fun as well. And there you go, the disc inside as well. Woo! All right, go put away this nonsense, and try not to damage it. All right, there you go. Next up is another hidden gem. There you go. I can talk. And another game you'll really love if you love shooters like I do, which is why I picked it up. It is Dodonpachi Resurrection, and this is another bullet hell style shooter. Another great game. Hey, no worries, Nightcore. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Great to have you. Another great shooter. I believe your characters have been resurrected to go back in the fight and deal with whatever monsters you have to fight in this game. It's got a crazy storyline. You know, it's a Japanese game, brought to us from Rising Star Games as well. There's a new Call of Duty game in October. Nice. And this is complete with a disc and manual as well. Very good game. Very good game. If you haven't played it, check it out. Dodonpachi Resurrection Deluxe Edition at that as well, including extra content. Another cool edition, Doom 3 BFG edition. I'm a big fan of this. I stream this. I really like the BFG edition of this first person, I'd say survival horror. This is less of an action game than the other Doom games. Less of a twitch shooter, I would say. More horror than you would get in the other ones. They moved away a little bit with this game, but it was still cool. The BFG edition, first of all, it includes the original Doom and Doom 2, and a load of extra, you know, all of the extra missions and all that stuff is on the disc, so you can enjoy playing those as well, which is very cool. As well as the Doom free version on this has a load of extra features, including the ability to use a torch without having to switch weapons. That was a big annoyance on this game. That was really, really bad. They made it very hard because you couldn't use a torch or your gun at the same time, so you couldn't see what you were shooting, but they fixed that on this version, and it's a really good game. So if you haven't played it, play Doom 3. Alright, next up we have Dragon Age 2. I don't really recall where I picked this up. I know the Dragon Age games are very popular games. It's a series I really do need to get into. I've got some Dragon Age games on the PS3 as well. It's a massive game series, similar to how Call of Duty is a massive game series that I'm not very knowledgeable about. Dragon Age is the same deal. At some point I'm going to have to get into these games, but they're massive. So, you know, I'll hold out to get into those Dragon Age games at some point from EA for RPGs. Alright, next up, we have another collection, a cool collection of games from the Dreamcast collection. Great to get these on disc as well, and these versions will, you know, have better resolution than they would originally. You know, Crazy Taxi on here will look better than it would have done on the PS2, for example. And you've got Crazy Taxi, I can't talk, Sonic Adventure, Bass Fishing, and Space Channel 5 Part 2. Very good versions of these games for the 360, taking advantage of the visual aspects for the 360, plus they'll be in widescreen as well, which is very nice. So it's good to get these versions complete with a manual as well, because I've got to have it with a manual. I just gotta. Next up we have Dynasty Warriors Gundam. I actually much prefer the Dynasty Warrior games as they are. I'm not really a big mech fan, but I know Gundam Wing is a big anime series that has a lot of following as well, and it's essentially just the same thing as Dynasty Warriors, but with giant mechs fighting each other, which is not bad. But it is a hack and slash game where you mow down tons of enemies, and there's not really much else to say about it. It is Dynasty Warriors with giant mechs. There you go. If you like that, you'll like that game. What else could possibly be next other than Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2? It's the same thing, but more mechs and more hack and slash action than you've ever seen before, at least on the previous entry. Good game series. I can't complain about the gameplay. It is the kind of thing I like. It's great to spend just a little bit of time to hack and mow down and blast away enemy robots. It's a lot of fun. It's a good game to spend if you don't have a lot of time to spend on gaming. You can play that and you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Next up, we have Dynasty Warriors Strike Force. One of the many varied offshoots to the Dynasty Warriors games. I don't even really recall what this did differently to anything that the Dynasty Warriors games did. I think it's just a regular Dynasty Warriors style game. I got no clue. They all blend into each other in my mind, the Dynasty Warriors games. So it is a Dynasty Warriors game where you hack and slash and destroy everything all around you. And I think this may have had some like extra characters or extra attacks, but if I know, it is a Dynasty Warriors game. I got loads of Dynasty Warriors games and I love them, but I can't distinguish between them. Next up, we have Earth Defense Force. Ooh, oh, and I almost dropped it, but I saved it, just like the Earth Defense Force will save Earth. There we go. Insect Armageddon. This is part of a big game series that's out there for Earth Defense Force, spanning many different consoles, all that kind of stuff. It is a action shooter. You just blast the aliens, blast them away, and it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. You gotta save the Earth. You gotta blast all those aliens. That is your mission. What else would you do? The bugs are back in Earth Defense Force. All right. Next up, we have Eat Lead. The return of what was it? Matt Hazard. I was about to say Max Rager. That would have been a bit awkward. The return of Matt Hazard. There's no return. The character never existed before this game. They sort of made him up. He's like a parody of video game characters, kind of Duke Nukem in that regard. Play Crazy Taxi for Nintendo GameCube. Got the highest money amount in that game. Nice. That game is a lot of fun. Crazy Taxi is a lot of fun. It's a great game. This is a shooter. It's a crazy game. It actually goes all over the place. So when I say shooter, actually, it does do a lot of different stuff. It jumps all over the place in terms of genre, because I think he's jumping through different video games in this game. It's very interesting, and it's actually a lot of fun. The character does a lot of kind of out there comedy in a similar manner to Duke Nukem. I would kind of compare him to that, and it's pretty fun. But yeah, the character never existed before this game. They just made him up and pretended he was an old character coming back. Next up, we have Enchanted Arms, one of many exclusive RPGs to the Xbox 360, which is something it's not known for. So keep an eye out for these games. They are kind of slipped under the radar, but there were RPGs on the Xbox 360, quite a few, as you'll see, because I have a lot of them. First true RPG adventure exclusively on the Xbox 360 it boasts, so I don't know about that, but it is a pretty cool RPG at that. And RPGs, they take a lot of time investment. You gotta really button down and get into them. I don't like playing an RPG alongside other games. I like to focus exclusively on it and get into the story. So RPGs take up a lot of time. I'm going to have to get to them at some point. I'm going to have to get to them. Next up, we have another role-playing game. This has got a lot of action and RPG elements. This is Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. I believe this has the motion capture of I've forgotten the actor's name, which is really embarrassing now. The guy that played King Kong. He'll come back to me at some point randomly. But there you go. I'm looking for the guy's name on the back, and of course it wouldn't be there. Of course, it's Andy Serkis. There you go. Andy Serkis motion captures the main character in this game. There you go. That would have bugged me if I hadn't found that out. I believe they put a lot into this game, and it just didn't really. The sales didn't live up to their expectations. But it is a pretty good game. It is a pretty good game, and very cinematic as well. So they put a lot into this game, and I don't know if I would really go as far as to call it a hidden gem, because it was pretty well known when it came out, but it did kind of get buried. There you go, Enslaved. Next up, we have another RPG. Another RPG, not exclusive though. It is Eternal Sonata. Very cool to get this on the Xbox 360. Another RPG. I love RPGs. As you know, someday I will find the time to actually play them. And there you go. Alright, and this also includes the disc and the manual in there as well. So I got it complete. And I want to say, I was going to say I think I got this from a market, but I actually don't recall. Eternal Sonata there. Alright, next up, we have an RPG that is exclusive, and it is Fable Anniversary. And this version includes a bonus outfit or something, but I don't believe it's usable anymore. This is the Anniversary Edition of the original game on the original Xbox. That's a lot of originals in one, but this series is exclusive to the Xbox, and in this case, this is like a HD version of the original, which is pretty good because it gives you widescreen. The controls for this game are pretty awkward though. I find that I like to have my look inversion, my vertical inverted, and if you do that, you also have your horizontal inverted in this game, which is really awkward. But there you go. It's a great game. Probably a better version to pick up than the original. Although it's designed for an original Xbox controller, so keep that in mind if you are to play this game. It is a little bit weird. The Fable 2 kind of gets the controls a bit more right, and from there it gets a little easier to control. I'm gonna put this back in the case, protective case from My Game Vault. Excellent cases for protecting your games. Right, there we go. Let's put that back. And I do love Fable, so I want to protect it. And next up we have Fable 2, Game of the Year Edition. I believe the different versions of this had like a red background or whatever, but this version has extra quests, more locations, and more choices it boasts. Very, very good game. I live streamed Fable 1 and Fable 2 on the channel previously. Fable 3 at some point surely has got to happen. Surely. This game added a dog to the mix as well. I wasn't too sure about the dog, but the game is great. An exclusive RPG on the Xbox 360, where you get to pick your path as you go, be it good or evil. The choice is yours. Alright, Fable 2, and of course we have Fable 3. Strangely not marked as an exclusive, but obviously it is an exclusive to the system. There is a special edition of this that came in like a book, like a tome style case as well, that I don't have, which is really cool. The Revolution. I didn't actually like this game as much as Fable 2. I think this game, to my memory, was a little bit short, but it's still a great game. Still a great game. If you haven't checked out the Fable series, you should check it out. You should check that out. And next up, probably my least favorite game of the Fable series, we have Fable The Journey. This requires a Kinect. As you can tell from the purple case and Kinect written on the top, this is a Kinect exclusive game, and you need the Kinect controller to play it in any regard. Beware the magic. Well, beware this game. It's really weird. I don't think I have the manual in here. I think, yeah, there's no manual. Just a disc. You need the Kinect, which is kind of like the equivalent of the PlayStation Move or the Wii controller, but you don't use the controller yourself. You move your body to do all the antics. And you know, the first half of this game is all horse riding, or you're on a carriage using a horse, and you're just doing this. You're doing this forever and ever, and I just got really tired. I got absolutely nowhere in this game. So there you go, Fable The Journey, quite tiring. Quite tiring, to say the least. But a game that is not tiring is Fallout 3. This is the Game of the Year edition, and very deserving of that title. A great RPG, absolutely amazing. And this version includes Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta. I don't even believe I've played all of the content on this, to be fair. The game is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive, that I haven't even approached the wealth of content in this game. But yeah, absolutely great game. Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. Next up we have Xbox 360 Classic Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition includes Dead Monkey, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, and Lonesome Road. Again, I don't believe I played much of the extra content here, including Gunrunner's Arsenal and Courier's Stash. Won a load of awards. It's a great game. I wouldn't say as good as Fallout 3, but it's definitely a great game. Definitely a great game. Those ugly classic discs, though. I would like to have this in a regular case with regular discs. But there you go. Fallout New Vegas. Ultimate Edition. Next up, we have Final Fantasy 13-2. I want to say 13-2. Is it 13-2 or 11-2? Roman numerals. Roman numerals. I think it's 13-2 because 11 was an online one, right? I'm pretty sure that's 13-2 because X is 10, right? Yeah. So X is 10. 13-2. Roman numerals. Learn it here with MVL. It's just weird they have Roman numerals and then a number 2 in our regular numbers. But there you go. Beyond time, beyond fate, beyond imagination. I haven't actually got into these past 10. Past 10, I haven't played many. There you go. There's the disc. I actually really like the disc art though. Very nice. Hey, Kriya, welcome. 13-2. Thank you for clearing that up, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing, Kriya? Welcome to the stream. As I get confused with Roman numerals. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And I think I only got this because it had this outer sleeve, which is really cool. One of the other ones I have a special edition on the PlayStation 3. There you go. Next up we have, it was actually funny because it was either on the PlayStation 1 or it was the PlayStation 1 collection video. There was a little confusion about like the Final Fantasy 6s and whatnot. So that was pretty funny. Roman numerals, there you go. I should learn them. You doing good? That's good to hear, my friend. I'm doing great, thanks for asking. And it's always fun to go through my collection with you guys. You guys are amazing. Next up we have Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage 2. Based on an anime, I believe, and sequel to the first game. It essentially plays exactly like Dynasty Warriors. And I'm going to say that a lot. It is just a beat-em-up game where you mow down hordes and hordes of enemies. Hordes and hordes. And that number, I can read, it's number 2. So yeah, I'd actually quite like to get the first one. I think it plays a little differently as well, but this one is just beat the crap out of everything. Alright, next up, we have Fracture. And this is a very interesting shooter game. It's one of those ones that goes out there with different controls. I've got a couple of interesting shooter games in the collection that I would have picked up for pretty cheap. And then I will throw them into the collection. But it's pretty nice. I believe on this one you get to do some interesting stuff with the Earth. I think you can move up the Earth to move around the place. So I could be thinking of a different game, we shall see. To move around or lower it to get through areas and stuff. It's pretty cool. Next up we have Front Missions Evolved. Now this 360 version of this series is pretty much just a shooter. I wouldn't say it's too generic, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of mech combat. I think on this one you drop down from the sky and then you just destroy everything, which is fun in itself. But I prefer fantasy settings. I do like sci-fi, but I'm not a big mech fan. I'm sorry if you love mechs out there, but I'm not a big mech fan. Next up, you either play the Game of Thrones or you die. Is that the saying? I don't know. I haven't seen the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones. You win or you die. It says on the back. You win or you die. There you go. Game of Thrones. Based on the book and not the TV show. But they have used stuff from the TV show, like imagery and things like that. I believe they used the entrance as well. You know, just to sell the game. But it was I think in production before. And it is pretty interesting. It's an adventure game. And it's a little slow paced. It has moments where it's like Telltale game like, and then it has moments where it's kind of like a hack and slash. Pretty interesting game. Game of Thrones. You either win or you die. Or you get Roman numerals wrong. Alright, I'm not going to dwell on that any longer. It's Gears of War time. Gears of War 1 and 2. This is a double pack. A bundle copy, in fact, it says on the front. I only got this because it was a little bit of a novelty, really. I've of course played the Gears of War games before. There's some of the loudest on my Xbox 360, which is very loud when it makes this noise. The back is very boring looking. But I just got this because it's a little bit of an oddity. You don't see much of this sort of thing, bundle packs. So I was a bit excited when I found this. And the discs are very boring looking. They're just white with bundle copy on. It's got 2 discs in there. Nice. It is nice, isn't it? Bundle copy not for resale, it says on there, and it just has 2 discs which are black and white, and then it has both manuals in there, which is pretty funny as well. So I like that. Next up, we have Gears of War 2 limited edition. This is whoa, almost dropped it. This is massive, and apparently it wants to open itself. Contains a load of extra stuff in there as well in this version. Did I say Fable? Yeah, Fable. I had Fable Anniversary, Fable 2, and Fable 3. This is a very cool case, actually. It is a steelbook case, of course. Very shiny, very shiny. It's in good condition. I got this in CEX, I think, for very cheap. There's an art book in here as well, which is pretty nice. And there are a couple of other bonuses as well that I don't remember what I've done with them. They're probably in here somewhere. But there's an extra disc in there as well, which is pretty sweet. They're very, very nice looking. Very nice. Alright, let's put that back there. And then there's going to be the awkward moment where I try and put this all back in the case without destroying it. Because this is pretty beat up. Pretty beat up. Alright. Next up, we have Golden Axe Beast Rider. An Xbox 360 entry to the Golden Axe series. A great game series. Great game series. Not as good as the originals, of course. The transition to 3D has been a bit rough on Golden Axe. Beauty and the Beasts, this is mentioned. I believe you can ride beasts and use their abilities in this game as well, which is pretty cool. I don't actually have many Mortal Kombat games on the 360. I've got a couple on the PlayStation 2 Nightcore, but I don't have many on the 360. I need to get more fighting games, to be fair. That is actually a pretty good game. Yeah, Golden Axe Beast Rider, actually. Alright, we're on the G's. And we have a Grand Theft Auto 4. Roman numerals again, but I'm positive this is 4 this time, my friends. I'm positive. There you go. Very, very cool game. This version, unfortunately, my friends. So I had this game. And I lost it. I have no idea where it went. It's like my copy of Dead Rising 1. I got no idea where it went. But this version I picked up. I want to say I picked it up in a place called Kate's Boutique or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. But the disc here doesn't work. Maybe I might be able to get it cleaned. It might work, but this version doesn't work, which is very unfortunate. There you go, Grand Theft Auto 4. I have played it though. Get a special edition with DLC on the disc. That's great. I like it when a special edition actually has the DLC on the disc. Next up we have Grand Theft Auto 5. This also came out on the modern systems. The modern systems like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. This version still works. It has multiple discs. It needs to install on all of the discs. But it is still very playable. It's actually pretty impressive how they got the game to work on this system. But that's how I first played it. Because when the game came out, I don't believe I had an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, even though they're out at the time. I waited a little bit. I always like to wait. Next up, we have Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City, kind of like physical DLC, but I think this is its own game, right? 2 complete games: The Lost and the Damned and the Ballad of the Ballad of Gay Tony. On this, so 2 complete games on one disc, which is pretty cool. I like the artwork there as well. Always have very nice artwork on these games. I also have Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 4. I keep wanting to say PlayStation 5, but that's not a thing yet. Alright, next up we have Overture Guilty Gear 2. This game takes a sidestep from the rest of the series. In the fact that instead of being a fighting game, a one-on-one fighting game, it actually plays more like Dynasty Warriors, being a kind of hack and slash beat 'em up game. But it goes in very short missions, so it's actually kind of awkward to play this. I actually thought it was a bit weird to play, because the missions are so short, you don't get to kind of get into it. 7th gen was better than the 8th gen. Yeah, I pretty much feel that way. Or going back, you know, I'm not gonna say all the way, but definitely going back. Yeah. Next up we have Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, similar to Fable Anniversary. There we go. I can talk. Just an updated version of the game. You get widescreen. You get all kinds of good stuff. You can switch between graphics for this as well, I think, between the new graphics and the old graphics, which is a nice touch. So they completely redid the graphics. I also have this in a bundle on the Xbox One as well. But that bundle, even though it's on disc, I think it digitally downloads, which is annoying. PS5 and the Xbox, new Xbox. Yeah, I have no idea what the new Xbox is going to be called. We're at the end of 2020. That's cool. That's cool. I'll probably get them in 2030. We'll see. We'll see. No Halo 2. No Halo 2. Because, you know, I mentioned that on the original Xbox stream. What happened to my Halo 2. Halo 3. Again, Xbox exclusive, of course. First-person shooter, if you're unfamiliar with the Halo series. I think everyone knows about the Halo series. I haven't played far past Halo 3, to be fair. So I'm less familiar with where the series went from this location onwards. But I definitely really like the early games for the multiplayer combat. Next up is Halo 3 ODST. ODST! There we go. Prepare to drop. This one starts off with a pretty cool story, actually. I was enjoying this when I recorded some gameplay footage. It's pretty cool. Next up, Halo 4. I don't think I've played this much at all, but you know, more of the same. More of the same. First-person shooter action. First-person shooter action. The Reclaimer saga begins, whatever that means. The Reclaimer saga begins. No manual though. Wah wah, and a little tear. And a little tear, because there's no manual. Alright, next up, we have Hitman Absolution. Maybe a bit controversial. I don't mind this game. I know other people have said they don't like this. I don't mind it. You've got a lot of options on what you do. You don't have to stealth, and I don't stealth very well anyway. So I just go in there and kill people. But you can put on outfits of other guys, sneak your way in. You can pull people through windows. You can shoot them. Let's get MVL that manual. I need all the manuals. Otherwise, I don't know what the controls are. How am I supposed to know? I think this one might be missing a manual as well because it feels light. Hunter, the Demon's Forge. Like a role-playing game with hack and slash action. This one was actually pretty cool, actually. It was quite cinematic. It was pretty cool. Oh, there is a manual. It's just really small. There you go. This one has a manual. I need all of the manuals. You know what? For the NES, my folks brought over some Atari 2600 games from America, because that's where they live. And they sent over some Atari stuff, but they had a couple of NES manuals in there. And I was missing the NES manual for Gremlins 2. So that was actually pretty cool. I got to get a manual in there. Still don't have the case for that though. Insert Red Wing jokes here. Hey, Jonan, welcome, my friend. Welcome, my friend. That's uncharacteristic for you, my. What's up, buddy? Next up, we have Infinite Undiscovery. Infinite Undiscovery, another exclusive RPG to the Xbox 360. Ooh, we're getting through a lot of RPGs that are exclusive to the system, and it's not known as a system for RPGs. It's more known for its Halos, for its shooters, for that sort of thing. But they had RPGs. There were a bundle of them on it. You can find RPGs on the system. You just have to cast your eyes far and wide. Alright, next up we have Inversion. How am I doing this? Like this. There we go. And really cool case. I really love the case. How they do that. Really cool. You think about us crashing, don't know what I'm thinking about. What could I possibly be thinking about with Red Ring? What could I possibly be thinking about? Anyway, never mind that. Never mind that. Turn the world upside down. Turn it all upside down with this. Or do it sideways. Anyway, this game's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. You can kind of defy gravity in this game. and it's got really nice mechanics to it. As you know, the cover is what I found interesting, which drew me towards it. So it is a shooter, but it's actually pretty fun. You can mess around with all kinds of stuff in this game. I quite like it. Interesting one. Next up, from an author I'm very fond of, an author who created the Hellraiser series, Clive Barker and Jericho. This is a sci-fi horror, and it is a shooter. Unfortunately, the game didn't do so well, I believe. I don't believe the game did that well. But it was really cool. It's nice to see Clive Barker's wacky mind coming up with more chilling content. There you go. That has the disc and manual. I believe when I originally had this, I didn't have the manual for it, and I was able to procure one. There's actually a lot of manuals in here. What is all of this nonsense? There's like more than one book in here. Alright, so for some reason I have like two Codemasters flyers in here, as well as another flyer. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I believe I picked up a second copy of this to get the manual, and I must have just put both flyers in there for some reason. Alright, this next game I have, Just Cause. I believe I already had this on the original Xbox, but I wanted to get the 360 version because it was widescreen and it looked a bit better. On the front, it boasts to be bigger than GTA. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case, but it is certainly a great game, and it's pretty cool. It's very much in the same style as GTA, except it's more action orientated. I would say more action orientated, and this is complete with a disc and manual as well. All right, next up, we have Cameo, Elements of Power, another RPG exclusive to the Xbox 360. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I say RPG. This is I would say this is more of a platformer. More of a platformer game, similar to the similar to Rare games and that sort of thing, which is very cool actually. Heard good things about it. Yes, this is a really cool game. It's a good looking game as well. In this game, the main character, she can take on the form of all kinds of monsters that you encounter throughout the game, and it's pretty cool actually. It's a very colourful game, very child friendly game as well. Rareware. That game took forever to come out. Yep. Next up we have Kane and Lynch 2. I don't have Kane and Lynch 1, unfortunately, though I have played it. I played it with my friend Odin, I think. It was you could play these games 2-player, which is really cool actually. The characters are insane, just like myself. I got this because the limited edition is just included a slipcase really. I don't believe the limited edition content is still on here, unfortunately. But there you go. Cameo was originally built as a GameCube title. Oh, I see. There you go. It's kind of like with Perfect Dark, how that was originally made for a Nintendo system and got moved along. That's funny. Disc and manual in here. I believe I upgraded this version. I believe it had a couple of issues with my first copy, that it was missing the maybe the manual again, and I got another copy. But there you go. I upgraded that one as I went along. Alright, next up we have Kengo Zero. This is a, I guess I would call it a fighting game, but often you do take on more than one enemy. Take the role of a samurai, and you get to just wreck stuff with your sword. It's pretty fun, Unfortunately, missing the manual, and I shed a small tear. But there you go, Kengo Zero for the Xbox 360. Alright my friends, I'm going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back in just a moment. Fear not, I'm not leaving you forever. Just for a couple of moments while I research Roman numerals, perhaps. No, but I do need a break. So I'm going to be right back. Don't go anywhere, my friends. I will be right back. And we're back after that quick break. Thanks for waiting for me through the break. True believers, I appreciate you. Much appreciated, my friends. And indeed, curse the coffee, for it makes me take extra breaks. Anyway, let's move on to our next game. Welcome back. I'm glad to be back, my friends. I'm glad to hang out with you guys. You're amazing. Thank you guys so much for being with me. Next up we have Killer is Dead. Ooh, this is a limited edition. The limited edition, I don't know exactly what it includes. Oh, it has the Smooth Operator pack, which has exclusive episode and X-ray vision in Gigolo mode. Okay, and it has Betty for Gigolo mode and sexy police bikinis. Okay, first time I've actually read that. Kind of regret reading that out loud, but there we go. That's the extra content it has. Honestly, guys, this is a really scary game. Really messed up. Pretty cool actually. So if you haven't played Killer is Dead, I don't really know how to describe it. I guess it's got a lot of hack and slash elements and a lot of horror elements. It's a game that has gone off into other games as well, but it's pretty crazy, Alright, next up we have Kingdom Under Fire, Circle of Doom, and the Circle of Doom is the Red Ring of Death. The Kingdom Under Fire games are, if I'm remembering this correctly, they are like tactical combat games where you can go into hack and slash combat, kind of like I think Kessen it was, or Dynasty Tactics, kind of like those. So that's how they work. They're tactical, and then you go into hack and slash combat. And they were pretty cool. These are pretty cool games. RPG elements to them as well. Pretty cool. Exclusive to Xbox, it says on the cover there as well. And next up, we have Kingdoms of Alamar Reckoning. This is a really good RPG. Really good role-playing game. That really went under the radar, unfortunately. I think it just got blown out of the park by Skyrim, unfortunately. But this is a really, really good game. It's a really fun game. And it doesn't get talked about at all. Just doesn't get talked about. It's a good game, so I actually really recommend Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. Unfortunately, no manual, crying a tear. There's no manual in there, but you know, there's a little thing talking about Mass Effect bonuses in there for some reason. But there you go, Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. I recommend it. Next up, we have Knight's Contract. This is a pretty cool hack and slash game, I would call it. You could probably go as far as to say RPG, but really it's more hack and slash than anything else. There's a little bit of platforming, but mostly you just beating stuff up. You're just beating stuff up. You know, it has a Grant Kirkhope soundtrack. The music's really good, actually. It's a really good game, Kingdom of Amalur. It's really good. It's a shame that it's not more well known, really. I know my friend Mystic1111 is a big fan of it. Alright, next up we have L.A. Noire, the complete edition. I live streamed this quite a while ago on the channel, and it is a cool game. It is an adventure game. Hey, Awesome! Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream, my friend. I can't talk. How are you doing, Awesome? Welcome. An adventure game. You know, elements of it kind of play like a point and click game, and then parts of it are quite shooter as well. I guess I'll compare it to Grand Theft Auto, but it's got more of a sort of slower story to it. This version is really nice. I will also say that this includes all of the extra content on the disc, and the extra content just plays through in the story automatically, so you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to play it separately. Really cool. The way this is presented. Alright, there we go. I'm going to put that away and try not to damage it. But this game recently came out on newer systems as well. So you can get a newer version of it for your PlayStation 4s and your Xbox Ones and your Nintendo Switches as well, but the Switch version downloads a big portion of it because they didn't put it on a big enough cartridge. Alright, next up we have Left 4 Dead in a nice shiny cover. This is the Game of the Year edition. Includes the survival pack content, and as far as I know, the extra content is on the disc. It's not like Arkham Origins in that regard. This is a multiplayer shooter. It is well renowned. It is well renowned. I believe I've played this a little bit with my friend Odin, but I wasn't very good at it. In fairness, but it's a cool game. And definitely an action horror. Definitely action. A bit of twitch shooting. You just gotta survive, or you'll be left for dead. You won't make it out alive. Next up, we have Lollipop Chainsaw. This is the Nordic edition. I got this from CEX. The Nordic edition includes 5 exclusive skins. And what's really cool about this, you'd probably die too, Jonah, I know, right? What's really cool about this is I got this from CEX secondhand, but all of the extra skins were not used. The codes were not used, so I was able to get all of those extra skins, which are really hard to find. I don't believe the extra skins are downloadable, so it was pretty sweet. And they include the Goth skin, the Ash skin, like Evil Dead, and the Funk skin, pretty funky, and the Jimmy Urine skin, and the Rockabilly skin. I think that's all of them, right? Yeah, back to the Goth skin. Yep, that was pretty cool. Pretty good find. Like, I believe it's really hard to get the Nordic edition now. I believe. Next up, we have another Xbox 360 exclusive RPG. It is Lost Odyssey. Now, one of my friends, Josh, who used to play D&D with us, was very high on this game. Fresh, Powerful, and Epic 360 magazine says about it. It is really good. Really good. And it is exclusive to the Xbox 360. So, for those of you that think all of the RPGs, look at this. I've clearly got the wrong disc. No, this is right. So I've got no manual, but the extra disc is just separate there because this is a 3 disc holder, and there's a 4th disc. That's pretty funny. It's on 4 discs. So even on DVDs, they had to put this on 4 discs. I mean, come on. Of course, PlayStation, they had Blu-rays at the time, so they could have probably fit that on 1 Blu-ray, which is pretty funny. You know, a lot of people love Lost Odyssey. I know, right? It's a shame I've lost my Lost Odyssey manual. Next up, a game that I know Mr. No Life really doesn't like, so it's probably for the best that he departed earlier. Max Payne 3. I know some people like this. I think Big Boss and Carnet quite likes it. To me, it's too far away from the Max Payne games. It's too far away. You lose the noir feel, and you know, it uses cover, so it's a pretty big departure. I can see how people can not like it. But there you go, Max Payne 3. I'll have to get to it eventually because I want to stream the Max Payne games at some point. Next up, we have Mercenaries 2. World in Flames. I got this for £1 from a charity shop in Truro because I needed change for the car park. That's why I got this game. I don't believe it has the manual in there, unfortunately. No manual. And it is a shooter game. Exactly the same as Mercenaries 1, except, you know, much nicer looking because it's on the Xbox 360. I forget if the first game was on the 360 or if it was on the PS2 or something, but I think it was on the PS2, unless I'm wrong. Next up, we have Metro 2033, a survival horror first-person shooter. You haven't played the series? Jonan, you've got to play Max Payne. You've got to play Max Payne. Oh my goodness. Fear the future. Fear the future. Although my complaint about Max Payne 1 is the difficulty level. If you're half good at the game, the difficulty scales up and up and up until it's just really hard. Gaz loves games. I hear he is a man who loves games. How are you doing, my friend? What is up, buddy? Metro 33, including the survival guide, or the manual as it likes to call it. Great, tunnel guide, there we go, I got that wrong. I got all kinds of things wrong, not just Roman numerals. Yeah, the Roman numerals thing, I think I had 6 or something on the PlayStation 1 when I did my PlayStation 1 collection. But the games overseas for America for the Anthology collection were different. So I think there was a bit of confusion over that in the chat, but it didn't help. My knowledge of Roman numerals didn't help. Oh, I gave you the first game. Oh, nice, Jonan. Yeah, was it on the PS2, the version I gave you? Unfortunately, the PS2 one doesn't look the best, but it is still functional. It's easier to get it running. It's easier to get it running than it would be on the PC. How are you doing, Gaz? Good to see you, my friend. Mind Jack is the next game. This is a shooter with psionic powers, if you will. I believe in this game you can take control of like machines, but also people as well. It's pretty cool. PS2, yeah. The only downside for the PS2 version is it's not great looking. The Xbox 360 one looks better, but then it's easier to control with a mouse and keyboard. You feel like a Sony trader if you never had an Xbox. You know, I know a lot of people. I mentioned Big Boss and Kana. I don't think he ever liked the 360. A lot of people thought it was too loud, but in fairness, it is really loud. My version's really loud anyway. Hey, Jacob's Gaming Lair, welcome to stream, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Next up, we have Mini Ninjas. They're like ninjas, but much smaller. This is a platformer with a lot of fun to it. This game is pretty fun. It's quite silly. It's quite cute, but it's actually a lot of fun. Pretty cool game. I believe this was also on mobile phones of all things. But then again, a lot of games are on mobile phones these days as well, aren't they? You want to play Forza? A racing game fan, Gaz? A racing game fan? I actually don't have many racing games on the 360. I'm a bit of a letdown there. Next up we have Mirror's Edge. This is sort of a free-running game. Let's describe it as a platformer. I only picked this up recently, but it was on multiple different systems. A very cinematic game, a very nice looking game. And it won the Game Critics Award of E3 2008. And then, you know, I don't consider these games that old, that retro, if you will. I don't really consider Xbox 360 games retro, but when you see 2008 and you actually realize we're in 2019, sometimes you're like, huh, where does the time go? But you know, there you go. You haven't played that one in ages? It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. You struggled on Mirror's Edge? Yeah. The controls are actually a little awkward on some places. You gave up on it too easily. I have that problem when I'm recording gameplay footage. So I've got a new video game pickups video coming out soon, and I have to record like 20 odd games for that. And because I'm recording 20 odd games, sometimes I give up a little easy, and sometimes I get real mad. You guys wouldn't like to see my outtakes because I get proper mad. I try not to get mad on stream or anything like that, but you know, when I'm by myself, I can get mad. Next up we have Monster Madness Battle in Suburbia. I guess I would call this game a little bit like Gauntlet. It's a little bit like Gauntlet, which is not a bad thing. This is a pretty fun game. Multiplayer game as well, so you can play it with friends. You just go around blasting stuff. Actually, you know what? It's kind of comparable. It's kind of comparable to Zombies Ate My Neighbors in a way as well. Kind of feels a bit like that, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Next up. Oh, another great collection. Another great collection. We have the Namco Museum Virtual Arcade. This is an absolutely great collection of games. There are tons of good stuff on here. I believe this and the Capcom collection, to be fair, were on my top 10 pickups last time around. I'm gonna be doing another top 10 pickups this year, so look forward to that. This has a Pac-Man Championship Edition on it, Galaga Legions, Xevious. So many good games. Galaxian. Oh my goodness. Like, there's just a ton of good stuff on here. A great way to pick up tons of great games in one package. Although, for Galaga Legions, I believe I got visual copyright on that, which is pretty funny. Well, I say pretty funny, pretty annoying really, because if you want to cut out visual copyright, or if you do any addition to a video on YouTube, you lose your live chat, which kind of sucks. Which also was the case on Arkham Knight on the last video, or various videos to be fair. Anyway, we may get copyright, but we will never be dead. Next game is Never Dead. Really cool game. Kind of reminds me a bit of Killer is Dead. I forget which games tie up to Killer is Dead. I don't believe this does. But this is really cool. Kind of reminds me of that. You're like a demon hunter, and a lady comes to recruit you to fight more demons. I think you're a zombie, actually. No, I think about it. I think you're a zombie. But a very cool game. Kind of plays a bit like Devil May Cry. I know I threw that one out a lot, but it does kind of play a little bit like that way. Very fun. And I like that there's an advert for Megadeth album in there as well. So, you know, good old horror gaming with hacking and slashing and some heavy metal as well. You got yourself a game. We will never be dead. Hang on. Hang on, Astro Warrior for the Master System. No, I don't know what I'm doing now. N3 is up next. Another RPG for the Xbox 360. 99 Nights. Another RPG exclusive to the system. For anyone that thinks the system doesn't have RPGs, how many have I shown thus far? I can't remember because I have an absolutely terrible memory. But we've gone through a lot of RPGs thus far, and here is another one, complete with the disc and the manual, of course, because why wouldn't I have it with a disc and manual? I've got it. I just got it. Next up, we have Ninja Blade. It's an exclusive. Again, another game I would describe a bit like Devil May Cry, except this game has quick time elements as well. And the quick time elements are a bit weird, but the gameplay is still pretty good, pretty on point. And it's a pretty fun game. Tokyo is under siege, so I think Tokyo gets attacked by virus or monsters. It turns everyone into monsters, and you have to go destroy them because you're a ninja. That's what you do. And if you need more story from this game, I don't know what you're expecting from a game called Ninja Blade. There you go. Next up we have Of Orcs and Men. Orcs and Men. This is an RPG. It kind of got tactical elements to it because you can pause and make your actions. So the combat is almost turn-based, but it's not. It's more real-time. You do your actions and then it goes into real-time. In this game, orcs are kind of beset upon by humans, and you're pretty much trying to save your kin. It's like Orcish Braveheart, I guess, is how I describe it. Orcish Braveheart. There you go. And one of your characters is a goblin as well, and the goblin is stealthy. So he can do different stuff that your orc can't do, because your orc is a barbarian, and as we know, barbarians just bash stuff in the face. Next up, we have Oni-chanbara Bikini Samurai Squad. Yeah, so that is a thing. That is a thing. And yep, there's nothing really I can say about this game. On the back, it says, "Sexy Samurai Sisters, our final hope." Yeah, okay, so there you go. And it plays pretty much like Dynasty Warriors. Another game that plays like Dynasty Warriors. You just hack and slash and kill all of the zombies as a samurai wearing a bikini for no particular reason. Well, I say no particular reason. We know the reason. But there you go. Next up, we have Perfect Dark Zero in the Steelbook case. Alright, this is the limited collector's edition. I actually have a couple of copies of this. This is the one in best condition. And because it's a steelbook, I put it in a box protector to try and keep it safe from corrosion. You sadly know it's a thing, yep. There you go. Nice looking cover. I had high hopes for this game. Took forever to come out. I had high hopes for it. And unfortunately, it didn't quite live up to expectation. Really, Perfect Dark could have been the Halo for the system, but it just wasn't. But yeah, inside of here I have extra disc as well. Pretty cool. There you go. And the manual is in there as well. Alright, and put this all back in its container. But that's another reason I like to have these box protectors. Keeps them nice and safe. Nice and safe from my grubby hands. Like really, I should have probably wiped that down from my from the sweat on my fingers before putting it back. But you know, ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, next up we have Devs want to do a lot of stuff with Perfect Dark Zero. Oh, okay. Yeah, it just doesn't quite live up to expectation. Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64 was so good. Alright, next up we have Persona 4 Arena. This one is more of a combat game. This isn't Persona 4. This is Persona 4 Arena, and it also includes an original arranged soundtrack as well. I can't remember if there's a soundtrack disc in here or not. But this is more of just a combat game. This is different to the regular Persona game. Hence Persona 4 Arena. And in here, yeah, there is a soundtrack in here, which is pretty sweet. I've got a soundtrack disc in there as well. Nice to have that, and the manual and the disc in there as well. Alright, another game series I need to get more into, Persona. But you know how it is with RPGs, they take so much time. Next up, we have Portal 2. Fantastic, fantastic game. Of course, sequel to Portal 1. Puzzle game, absolutely love it. Very good story, very good puzzles. This one also includes multiplayer as well, so it is a lot of fun. In fact, I believe the multiplayer for this is free. It just downloads it when you get it. So as long as that content is available, you'll be able to download it. Yeah, peer review is the DLC. It mentions it on the front. The extra content, and this is another case actually where it had a code, but I didn't have to use the code. It just downloaded the content anyway. Well, as soon as I put the disc in, so I got it for free. Persona is a time stink, even by RPG standards. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. But I also do have the original Portal, which you'll see later. Okay, next up is Prey. We are next. Pretty interesting game. You are a Native American, and aliens come and take your people, and you have to go kill the aliens. The first-person shooter. And you have like special powers as well, where you can like use animals and stuff. It's an interesting game. Also includes the manual and the disc. I believe there's been a remake or reimagining of this game recently, if I'm not wrong, and it has nothing to do with this except it also has aliens in. The robots or something. I don't know. 110 hours on Persona 4, Jacob. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, what a time sink. Next up we have Prince of Persia, and I'm gonna give you guys a variant cover alert. Variant cover alert. I have a variant cover for no particular reason. There's no difference at all. These are just different covers. The back is exactly the same. I picked up a variant cover. I'm not weird. You're weird. I have variant covers. They have, I believe, the same disc art. I can't remember, but I'll show you each one regardless. But you know, I saw a completely different cover. I'm not sure if one is a bundle copy or something, but I had to pick up the variant cover. If it is completely different, I will pick it up. All right. I mentioned this earlier. Project Slipheed. This is a flight sim. I guess a space flight sim. That the one I had Patrick Stewart in? I don't even know. I need to play him some more. Project Slipheed is a space sim flight game. The controls are really weird. Other than the controls, it's not as bad as Star Fox Zero. Let's be fair. It's not as bad as Star Fox Zero, but it's close. The game is great. The story is great. Just the controls. It controls really weirdly. See, the thing that lets it down. It makes you rage. Next up we have Rage from the creators of Doom and Quake. This is the Anarchy edition. I don't believe I was able to use the extra content on this though. And this game's actually not bad. It kind of reminds me of Borderlands a bit, because you don't just do shooting, you do some missions and drive around the place as well. So it's pretty cool. Alright, yep, there's a code right here. So okay, I can't show you the inside of... There's a thing that has codes on it. It has code on either side of it, annoyingly. So there you go, there's the discs. And then there's a little sheet of paper here that has a code on both sides, which is really silly. So I'll go put that away. It's not like, I'm pretty sure the codes would be used anyway, but best not to show them on camera anyway. Alright, next up we have Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition. This also includes Zombie Nightmare. Now I know I had this game, not Game of the Year Edition, but I've got no idea what happened to my original copy. Again, it just vanished. No clue where it went. But I have this one, and I live streamed this game. I also live streamed Undead Nightmare. A tip on Undead Nightmare: don't install the update because it will make the game glitch out and people's heads will disappear and stuff like that. It really damages the immersion if people don't have heads, and not because they're zombies, just because their heads haven't loaded. But yeah, this is a great compilation to get. I believe it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Game of the Year Edition is included for Red Dead Redemption as well, so all of that extra content. The only downside is, unfortunately, one of my discs is a little bit damaged. One of my discs, I think it's the Red Dead Redemption one, has started to crack in the center, and the problem about that is it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, and it's these annoying disc holders. They're not great. They kind of damage the discs. So tempted to go put all the distance sleeves. Activate Deadeye. I know, right? Matrix style. And next up we have Red Faction Gorilla. Now I'm certain you're supposed to do something in this game. I'm positive. I'm positive you do something in this game. It says Smash Authority on the back here. This game has destructible physics. And I know you do something, there's some sort of story. But the problem is that you start the game with a hammer and you can smash buildings. So I just go around smashing buildings with a hammer, and that's so much fun. I've got no idea what you're supposed to do in the game, because all I'm doing is smashing buildings with a hammer, and that's enough! That's enough for me. I get my jollies out of that. I don't need to do anything else. So, you probably do something in this game. I don't know, something Mars related. But yeah, I smash buildings with a hammer. There you go. You know, Sven really likes this one. I like it as well, but I got no idea what it's about. I just smash buildings. I just smash them. Another game I believe Odin introduced me to as well. Alright, it took me a while, but I do remember this one. It is Remember Me. Pretty cool game, very visually stunning looking. I'd say it's kind of like a platformer with beat 'em up elements. You're going about trying to retrace your memories. It's in a world where memories are stolen from you by a corporation. Very cinematic looking game, very cool game. I would recommend it. I don't know if I'd call it a hidden gem, because people must know about this game, because it looks like a lot of money went into it. But definitely a cool game. Although it may not be well remembered, I remember it. Let's Remember Me. Next up, we have another RPG. This one isn't exclusive. It is Resonance of Fate. Pretty cool game. You love the setting of Remember Me. You weren't fond of the combat. I also know that you could get I think it was Street Fighter moves as bonus DLC for pre-order, which is kind of annoying because it's like you want those moves, right? But they're only pre-order, which is pretty silly. There you go. This one is also complete with a disc and manual. Another RPG, but not exclusive to the system. We all know that these take a long time to play as well, RPGs. Alright, probably one of the worst games on the system. Ride to Hell, Retribution 1%, and I wouldn't be surprised if 1% is the Metacritic score of this game as well. 2 fists, 2 wheels, no rules. Honestly, this game tries to do a lot of stuff. You gotta hand it to them. They really tried. The problem is they were quite trying for a lot of people that played it. Complete with a disc and manual. This game is glitchy as hell. I wouldn't really say it's like unplayable. It's just renowned for how bad it is. So there you go. A Ride to Hell, Retribution 1%. Alright, next up we have Rise of Nightmares. This is a Kinect game. I have to confess that I haven't played this because it needs to connect. I really can't be bothered to get the Kinect out and then move all around. After Fable the Journey, I sort of went off Kinect games, but it does look pretty cool. It's a survival horror. I know on this game, if you make sound, the monsters can hear you. It looks pretty interesting. But if I get like a PlayStation Move game or a Kinect game, and most of the time PC games, to be honest, because PC games are a pain in the butt to get working on modern systems and record, I don't include them on video game pickups, and this was another instance of that, I think. So I don't think I played this. It's missing the manual. At some point I'll have to do this. You heard about this one? Yeah. At some point I'll have to do it, because from the looks of it, it looks like it's one of those, it's so bad it's going to be funny to do. So it might be a case of like, I really want to do this on stream at some point because it might be funny, or it might just be so bad I hate it. Next up, we have Risen. This is an RPG. It says on the front here it is exclusive to Xbox 360 and Windows. Yeah, I was about to say, I know this is on Windows, so it's not exclusive to Xbox. But if console-wise, another exclusive RPG. And I would say it kind of plays like your Skyrims, except it's third person. So I guess it's a bit like Gothic in that way. And there's a lot of sticker damage on the manual right there. A lot of sticker damage, but I do have it complete with the manual. And it's a pretty fun game. Next up, we have Risen 2 Dark Waters. So, you know, possibly inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean. They went piratey. Also has the Air Temple bonus content. Honestly, this game is not as gripping as the first one when you begin. It's a little awkward to play at the start, but it's still a fine game. And there we go. Add-on content for that is on the front there. I can't remember if I was able to download that or not, but there you go. Next up, let's get ready to rumble. It's Rumble Roses XX on the Xbox 360, another Xbox 360 exclusive. Plays exactly like the wrestling games, built upon the same engine. Essentially, it is what it says there. It's all-girl wrestling action. Let's grapple. Although it does have a career mode, and the gameplay is actually pretty good despite the presentation. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. Like, it's not bad. Well, I mean, it's bad, but yeah, it's really hard to defend this game. And there you go, Rumble Roses XX for the Xbox 360. That's a lot of X's. That's almost triple X, if you would say. Almost triple X. Alright, moving on quietly. We have Samurai Warriors 2. I believe this was the first entry to the Xbox 360. I think it was also on the PlayStation 2, but the 360 versions get. They'll have widescreen, and the graphics look a lot better. It is a Dynasty Warriors style game, of course. Same developer, and all of that good stuff. Hack and slash action, like crazy. One strange wrestling drama game, I know, right? It is a strange game indeed. That's Samurai Warriors 2. Next up is Section 8. This is a team-based shooter. So this is the one I'm thinking of, where you drop from the sky. You drop from the sky, and it's basically an arena deathmatch game where you have certain objectives to complete, and then you move on to the next battle, I believe. From South Park games, funnily enough. Section 8. Really fun, although I don't know how much like actual content is in the game outside of the arena battles. It's more designed for multiplayer than anything else. Next up we have Sega Superstar Tennis. I remember I got this in a charity shop for really cheap. This is a bundle copy, so the back of it looks really rubbish. But this is pretty cool. You got loads of Sega characters from Space Channel 5, Monkey Ball, and all that good stuff. And there's also a bunch of fun mini games as well. There's one where you shoot tennis balls at zombies from House of the Dead, which is a lot of fun. So this game is pretty good. No Mario Tennis, but it's pretty good. I mentioned earlier I don't have a lot of sports games. I wouldn't really count this as a sports game, even though it is tennis. I definitely wouldn't count Rumble Roses as a sports game for sure. Next up is Shadows of the Damned. Let's be damned. Another cool horror style shooter. This one's really gory, if I remember correctly. Really gory. Well, it does have an 18 on the front, so what do you expect? Gets pretty out there pretty quick. Shadows of the Damned. I believe you're trying to save a girl right at the start, and she gets possessed. Similar to Killer is Dead, actually, in that regard. In a different style. He played Sega All-Star Racing. That was fun. I've heard good things about those games, actually. Really good things. Next up is Singularity. This is a time-twisting shooter, first-person shooter. Very cool, actually. There's a lot of horror to this game as well. A lot of horror. This is a very cool game. I really like it. Another game I really need to stream at some point. Hey, no worries, Jacob. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Love having you here, buddy. And I will catch you next time, my friend. See you next time. So that's Singularity. Next up we have Sleeping Dogs. This is the limited edition. I can't remember what bonus content is in here, but this game is also on the PlayStation 4. Also on the PlayStation 4, so you can get a complete edition on that as well. Plays very much like Grand Theft Auto, but a different setting. Very much a GTA style game, and I'd say it plays exactly like that, except there's a lot more focus on hand-to-hand combat in this than there is in GTA. So there's a lot more complexity in the combat as well, which makes it quite fun. You need to pick up Sleeping Dogs. It's really good, actually. Next up, Silent Hill Homecoming. We're coming home now. Really, I need to complete my side quest and get all of the Silent Hill games. Love Silent Hill games. Welcome home. So I believe this one is a prequel. I think it's a prequel, and you come back and you I think without giving too much away, you start off and you're rescuing someone from a burning building, and then it just gets creepier and creepier from there. So there you go, complete with the disc and the manual. And the cover is actually reversible. Very nice. So that's pretty sweet. Put that back in there because it's in real bad condition. Alright. Next up, we have Soul Calibur 5. I remember the V is 5 with the Roman numerals. Just like the X is 10. So the X111 was 13, and then there's a 2, like the Final Fantasy. But Kriya corrected me on that, so thank you. Yeah, Soul Calibur 5. Yeah, it's a one-on-one fighting game. It is a one-on-one fighting game. And I do believe I have the special edition of this. It's just the special edition is locked away with all my other special editions up the top of these shelves in a plastic case, so I can't get it down. Well, I could get it down, but it'll be a real hassle. I've shown it off before at the end of a pickup video. No, at the end of a stream. Yeah, there we go. That's it. I don't know what I'm saying now. And I think I've shown it off in game room tours before as well. It looks like a tome, like a book. So it's pretty cool. But there you go. This also has 2 discs in it as well. Not 1, but in fact 2 discs, which is pretty cool. I imagine this is a DVD, right? Oh, it's a soundtrack. Okay, that's pretty cool. Trevor, welcome, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. There's still plenty of games to go, actually. We're only on the S's with our South Park, The Stick of Truth. This is a special edition. I actually want to get, this includes the Super Samurai and Spaceman pack and extra costumes. Meh. I originally played this on PC where it was uncensored. I want to get an American PS4 version because any UK version is censored. So, you know, there'll be content missing, which is covered up. Admittedly, they make a joke about it, but you lose content from any European version. So I want to get an American console version. I played it on the PC, but I want a console version because it's easy to play those. You wonder whether to pick up Sleeping Dogs, Gaz? Or Let It Lie? I would pick it up, Gaz. I'm pretty sure you can probably find it real cheap. Real cheap. Like, you don't necessarily have to get it on the PlayStation 4. You could get it on the PS3 for cheaper. I think it's on the PS3. It's a good game. It's a good game. I recommend it. Next up, we have... You're good, Trevor? That's good to hear, my friend. I'm glad you guys are doing well as we move on to the Splatterhouse. 3D version, essentially, I've said it before, plays a bit like Devil May Cry. It's a hack and slash with horror elements. The unmistakable sound of tearing flesh. Very gory game, but that's what you like about it. This game splatters all over the place. Pretty cool. I'm glad this made an entry into this generation. We'd like to see more Splatterhouse games down the line as well. Next up, we have Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. I don't have the first game. And at the start of this game, you are a clone of the original person. So I guess that sort of tells me what's going to happen at the end of the first game. But I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Came close to picking up the PS4 Devil May Cry trilogy today 3 times. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I really need to pick up that collection actually because it would be very nice to have them in good quality and widescreen as well. Did you miss Halo? Yeah, I've gone through the Halos. They're not a lot to miss, to be fair, because Halo's pretty generic. At least by my means. I like Halo for multiplayer, but I've always found it to be a little bit generic. But then, you know, don't shoot me, guys. Don't shoot me, guys. I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but I do like the games. And that's complete with a disc manual as well. You got Force Unleashed. You played 2 a lot. Yeah, it's a good game. I like just messing people up with my lightsaber and force powers. It reminds me a bit of the Jedi Knight games as well, like Academy and stuff, which is pretty fun. All right, next up we have Stranglehold. I guess I would compare this to Max Payne in the same style as you've got. I think you've got bullet time in this game, and it's an action shooter with a little bit of platforming thrown in as well. And really fun actually. You got to play as John Woo, which has just always been a goal of mine to be able to play as a martial arts master and just wreck stuff in a similar style to that Jet Li game. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And this is a pretty cool game. Actually really good. Again, if I was talking about hidden gems, I guess this game would come up on the list as well. Pretty sweet game. Some gameplay footage of it in one of my pickup videos down the line somewhere. Roughneck 69, welcome my friend. That was one of your first 360 games. It is a good one, buddy. It is a good one. Hey, no worries, Jonan. I will catch you later, my friend, and I will see you next time. You play as Chow Yun Fat. Let me see. Oh yeah, my bad. Chow Yun Fat. I said you get to play as John Woo. It's John Woo Presents. I'm so silly. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. Chow Yun Fat. Thank you, Roughneck. Roman numerals and Chow Yun Fat. Tales of Vesperia is next. There you go. A Tales of game, not exclusive to the system. I know, right, guys? I should know that as well because I am a fan. I am a fan of Chow Yun Fat. It's crazy. Just slipped my mind. Complete with the disco manual. It looks like this is double-sided. We can get this out here. Whoop. There you go. And it's got some artwork on the inside, which is, I don't know if that actually has artwork on the inside. Yeah, it does, because this is different. That's kind of interesting. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody tell him I got his name wrong, and he won't beat me up. There we go. Alright, let me just put this back in its place. Woo. There you go, yeah. Alright, Tales of Vesperia. Tales of games. Hey, Big Boss Incarnate, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, buddy? Next up we have The Darkness. The Darkness. Horror style game. First person shooter. But then again, don't trust me. Don't trust me. Cause I'm getting all of my stuff wrong at this time, because we're a fair way in. Manual and the disc is included. Although, as you can see, the manual is like completely black, which I quite like. It looks a bit like a leather case. There we go. Next up, we have The Darkness 2 Limited Edition. There we go. And I won't take myself to just reading off the covers because then I'll get stuff wrong. But master your demons in this game. I would be more mad at myself for getting the names wrong if I wasn't already pretty tired. This one picks up from the last game and just delivers you more darkness and more devastation from where it was. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You get to do a lot of shooting monsters in this game. You get special powers as well. So it's a lot of fun. Alright, next up, we have the Dead Rising Collection. Aha! Double the darkness, exactly. Double D, you might say. But, yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, this includes 3 games on 1 disc and 2 downloaded. You have Dead Rising 2, Dead Rising 2 off the record, which is Dead Rising 2, but you get to play as Frank West. I'm going to try and get my names right from here on. You've got Dead Rising 2 Case 0 and Case West as well. So, yeah, these are like you have a prequel and a sequel downloadable game from Dead Rising 2. Dead Rising, you got 4 to play. I think let me think. I got 3 on the Xbox One, and I haven't got 4 yet. I don't think. I need to. I do actually really like them. Need to play RE5 again. Trevor, nice. Hey Clive Boyle, welcome to my friend. Thanks for hitting that like button, my friend. I can barely talk. And Chow Yun Fat is going to beat me up. All right, the Dead Rising collection, and the reason it's all the way down in the T's is it's the Dead Rising collection and not Dead Rising collection. All right. Next up, we have the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, right? Roman numerals. Oh, come on, guys, I can't get anything right. This is the 5th anniversary edition. It includes a bunch of extra features. I can't remember what. It has Oblivion, Knights of the Nine, Shivering Isles, and Making of Oblivion and a game map. The only annoying thing is it has this silver case, which I don't like. You love The Darkness 2? It's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me, I guess it, like Venom. Like I get a Venom vibe from it, and I almost said Spawn because I get Spawn and Venom mixed up all the time. But yeah. Includes the disc. Oh, it looks like this is double-sided as well. I did not know that. What happens if I pull this out? Ooh, that was pretty nice. That was pretty badass. How you doing, Clive? Love the Elder Scrolls. It introduced you to role-playing games. Nice. It's certainly a great game. If I can get this back in the case. There we go. Alright. Yep, okay. Elder Scrolls Anniversary. That's not the only version of that as well. That's not the only version, because I also have. Oh no, there's it. What am I saying? This game I have more than one version of Skyrim. So Skyrim, the regular copy. I actually had the regular version of Oblivion, and I upgraded this, and I don't know what happened to my other one, so that's why I'm kind of confused there. But I'm just confused in general right now. This is an epic game. It built upon what was going on with Oblivion. Skyrim just knocked it out of the park. It's even better, and it's got a big old map in here as well. Big old map. That is the material as well, so it's quite nice. It just built upon that and made it better. The leveling system was way better in this, and this is the one I have more than one version of, because I have the Legendary Edition, and the Legendary Edition includes loads of extra content on the disc. So it includes Dawnguard, Heartfire, and Dragonborn extra content on the disc, even though it's got the annoying Classics case. And it also supports with Connect, but you probably don't want to use Connect. And yeah, there's the back of that one as well. Have I had any Xbox disc errors? Not with the Xbox 360, but I'm quite... Actually, no, earlier I mentioned one of my games, GTA 4, was not working, but that's because it's really scratched. But definitely with stuff like the PlayStation 1, and actually some games on the Wii, I'm starting to have disc errors. But that is unfortunately the problem with disc-based media. Skyrim is boss. They need another one. We do need another one. Next up we have The Last Remnant. This is not The Last Remnant though. We've still got another pile of games to show you, my friends. Alright. Next up. I'm still mad at myself for getting Chow Yun-Fat's name wrong, because I'm a big fan of him. It's almost... It's like it's such a crime. It's like confusing Jackie Chan and Jet Li. I just read what was on the cover of the disc. I'm so mad at myself. You guys have no idea how mad at myself I am right now. Next up we have the Orange Box, Half-Life 2, Episode 2, Team Fortress 2, and introducing Portal. All on one disc. Really cool. These are great games. Love Half-Life 2. Also has Episode 2 for Half-Life 2 on here as well. Also has that as well. So really cool. Really cool. Great games. Portal's really good as well. I've gotta stream these games at some point. I've gotta do it. Frightens you, a load of discs will stop working. Yeah, it frightens me a lot, my friend. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. I know, right? I am properly mad at myself, guys. It's fine, it's fine. Next up we have The Saboteur. As a bargain collection, it was, I know, right? Viva la Vengeance! This is a really cool game. I'm not really sure what to say. It's kind of like a shooter, but, you know, you go around freeing France. There you go. This game also came with the Midnight Show, which was an unlock code, or you could also buy it, to unlock the ability to see the ladies without you know, clothes. Saboteur was very underrated. It's a very underrated game. So there was the ability to uncensor the game, if you will. In the I'm forgetting the names of everything now. In the what do you call it? Like in the clubs, I forget the name. You know, burlesque. There we go. It came to me finally. But in like the burlesque clubs, there you could get it uncensored. But this game isn't even that old. I said before I don't consider the 360 to be retro. It's not even that old, and that code won't work. Not because there's no DLC or anything. You just put in a code, it should uncensor it, but it needs to contact the EA servers, and the servers just aren't online for it, which is stupid. The game's not even that old. It's not even that old. It's annoying. It's annoying, because I would like to play that game as it was intended to be played. That you can play as Chow Yun-Fat. Yeah, it's a lot like Max Payne. It's very similar to no, I lost it, but it was a very good game. I was right on the game, just wrong on the name. Same name, different game, different actor. There you go. But it was a great game. It was a great game. There you go. Because Chow Yun-Fat who was in damn it, I've lost the name of it again. The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. which is very good, and loads of other good films as well. Nothing comes to my mind at the moment because I'm crazy. Well, let's get serious. Serious Sam Collection is up next. There we go. This includes 4 Xbox Live games on one disc. Ooh. Hard Boiled the Killer. Thank you. There you go. Loads of good films. Loads of good films. This includes the first encounter, the second encounter in HD, Serious Sam 3 BFG, Duel of the 9 DLC, and Double D XXL. A crazy join the club, I know, right? This is really cool. Way to get all these games on one disc. On one disc. Very cool. No manual. I don't know if there was a manual in this game, to be fair. I don't know. There you go. Alright, we're on the last stack, but I have a couple of pickups to show you guys as well. Anna and the King. Next up we have The Witcher 2. Assassin of Kings Enhanced Edition. Woo! Hey CM Chris, welcome my friend. How are you doing? It's good to see you, buddy. Awesome to see you. This is really cool actually. This version has a bunch of extra stuff. Physically as well. The Enhanced Edition as well. How are you doing, CM? It's good to see you, buddy. Alright. It includes... I don't think this is a manual. I think this is a guide. So it includes a guidebook. And inside of here, it should have a map as well. You good? That's good to hear, my friends. Good to hear, my friend. I'm sorry, I can't even talk. Witcher 2 is a masterpiece. It is indeed. It is indeed. You're hyped to play The Witcher 3? I've got The Witcher 3 on the Xbox One, but I want to get it on PS4 because I prefer to play it with that controller. Got the disc in here as well. Watcher was your nickname at gym. Hey Jay, how you doing, buddy? This also includes a map actually. The first thing I show you is boobs for some reason, but yeah, there's a map in here as well, as well as the manual and the disc, as you can see. All right. And Jay comes here as soon as I show boobs. Show boobs and he shall appear. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? How are you doing? All right. I'm just going to put this aside so I can put it back later. Next up, I don't know how many of you are wrestling fans out there, but next up we have TNA Impact, the game. TNA Impact, the game. Back in the day when TNA was at its high point, you had AJ Styles, you had Kurt Angle, you had Samoa Joe. Good to see you, Jay. Awesome to have you here, my friend. Awesome to have you. I'm doing well. I'm just a little confused because, you know, I can't do words or names right now. Struggling. But yeah, you know, Booker T was in the company as well. Scott Steiner, Christian. This was a great time for Impact Wrestling. A great time. They were almost going to be, you know, the WCW to WWE, if you get the drift. The only wrestling you have the passion for, Gaz, is the jelly kind. I guess you want to play Rumble Roses XX for the Xbox 360. I showed that one earlier. That's that kind of thing. The all-girl wrestling game. But yeah, actually not a bad game. You got this game introduced TNA between 2000 and 2009 was great. This game introduced Suicide, the wrestler. So I'm gonna try and get some stuff right now to redeem myself. This game introduced Suicide, the wrestler, before he was a wrestler. He was an in-game character for this, and I believe they got TJ Perkins. There we go, TJ Perkins to play the part of Suicide, and also Christopher Daniels and Kazarian at one point as well. Angle was best in TNA. He had a great run, I know. His WWE run was not so great. Well, his last WWE run, I should say. Next up we have Tomb Raider Underworld, the limited edition. Limited edition! Love this box art, really. Very cool. Very cool box art for the limited edition. One of the coolest things about this particular collection. I like it. And the artwork continues all around this thing. It's very, very nice looking. Again, they had Lara wear this kind of like weird swimsuit in this game, I guess for obvious reasons. But that extra disc in there as well. And yeah, the Tomb Raider series is great. I actually prefer the remakes, The reimaginings, I should say, the new ones. Darkroft for the win. Best darn treasure hunter. I know, right? The new games, which play a bit like Uncharted, actually. I quite like those as well. Alright, I'm going to put this with my other game, with The Witcher, so I can sort out the cases a bit later. But most of the games. Nice, Clive. Nice. Alright, next up we have Two Human. Xbox exclusive. I believe this game was recalled because they had a dispute with the Unreal Engine. I want to say the Unreal Engine, right? Or was it the Quake engine? It was one of them. I can't get any of my facts right. Quake or Unreal, it's one of those. Whichever one I say, it'll be the wrong one. I'll just read what's on the cover and get it wrong. Tomb Raider 2 is your favorite? Tomb Raider 2 is pretty good. Right, yeah, this has the disco manual as well. What did you say, CM? I didn't see it. What did you say? Let me scroll up. Total Club Manager 2004. You got 7 new games. Oh, okay. I must have scrolled past me too fast. Linked crossbow training. Oh, nice. For the Wii. Yeah, there's like a peripheral for that, which is really cool. Doom 3 BFG, I approve of that. That's really good. That's really good, yeah. Doom 3 for the Xbox. THPS 4 for the Xbox. Unreal Championship. Unreal Championship is pretty cool as well. And Lego Star Wars. Ooh. Nice. Picked up some sweet games. I apologize, my friend. That must have scrolled past me too quickly. Those are pretty awesome games, actually. Gaz is balls deep into Days Gone. I actually want to play that game quite a bit, actually. It looks really cool. It looks really cool for a cooperative game. They overused him in WWE. Alright, next up we have a triple pack. I imagine I was messing around with a case and the chat scrolled up past. This includes Trial HD and Limbo and Splosion Man as well. So pretty cool to get these physically in one collection. That was only $12.75 from CEX. See, like, CEX is not a bad place to pick up games sometimes for the cheap. Most of my stuff I picked up really cheap. I very rarely buy a game new, so I try and save my money when I can. SmackDown vs. Raw series was the best. I like Here Comes the Pain a lot. And then the SmackDown vs. Raw games are very good, but towards the end of that series it kind of got a bit bad when we got into new ones. Next up we have Two Worlds. RPG, great game. I had this on the PC, but I'm very glad to get a console version because the console version will be easier to set up. I apologize, guys. I'm losing track of everything. Ever since I got a name wrong earlier, it's all fallen to pieces. Next up, we have Two Worlds 2. Of course, you've got to have Two Worlds 2. Game of the Year edition of that as well. Game of the Year edition. Great looking game. One of these I had on the PC, but it needs to be activated. It's really weird. You don't mind secondhand? There's no disc in here, but it's in the console because I'm recording gameplay footage of this. I'm not missing the disc. I'm recording gameplay footage of this as we speak, pretty much, for the next pickup video. So that's why disc isn't in there. You don't like Two Worlds, Clive? I actually quite liked it. It was pretty fun. Next up we have another triple pack. The Ultimate Stealth triple pack includes Thief, Hitman, and Deus Ex. Is that how you say it? Deus Ex? I don't even know. 3 award-winning games in one pack. I pretty much got this. I'm not a big fan of stealth games, but I pretty much got this. You know what? There is a product registration thing, which I should probably turn around. But yeah, this I believe has separate discs. I think, yeah. So it has multiple discs in, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. There we go. Next up, we have Vampire Reign. Alright, so this an awful franchise. Okay. This is the stealth game I was mentioning actually. So Dark what I showed earlier might have actually been a good game because one of them I played was actually pretty good. So this is really hard. Vampires come out at night, you got to stealth away from them. It's just really hard. I'm not good at stealth games, and I just die immediately on this game. Ooh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Alright, next up, enough of me telling you about what's hard. We have Vanquish. Vanquish! This is like a shooter Gears of War style. Vampire Rain is pretty good. And this has a reflective case. I don't know if you can see that on the stream. Sounds like Days Gone. I haven't played Days Gone in fairness. This plays a lot like Gears of War, I'd say. It's awesome. It's a pretty cool game. Hey, Darkest Aeon, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? I doubt my ultimate stealth. Everyone knows that ultimate stealth would feature Metal Gear Solid. I know, right? Alright, let's go put these back together. I had this in a protective case just because it's got the outer sleeve I didn't want to damage. The protective cases are from My Game Vault. So fast paced. I know, right? Protective cases are from My Games Vault, and I did a review of them as well on the channel. Next up we have Venetica. This is like a hack and slash RPG, I guess I would say. For some reason I don't seem to remember this, but I must have played it. But I've got a fair few games. I must have slipped the mind. There you go. I'm not just forgetting names, I'm forgetting games! Alright, next up we have Warhammer 40k Space Marine. In this game, you take on the role of a Space Marine. Adeptus Astartes, as they're known. And you just smash orcs, and you smash chaos, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I've been playing the Warhammer Fire Warrior on the PS2 recently, and that's a lot of fun as well. Another first-person game. Alright, next up we have Warriors Orochi. This is another Dynasty Warriors style game. This one blends Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors together. You get the characters from both franchises. And at this point, I really feel like you have way too many characters in this game series. You have way too many characters. You never got into Warhammer? I've got the models actually. I've done a real Warhammer battle report on the channel with the actual models at one point. But they take a really long time to do. So it'll take me a couple of days to do narration for one of my pickup videos where I have gameplay for everything. Far too many. But like a Warhammer battle report will be like much longer. And it would just take me much longer to do the narration for. So yeah, I would do more Warhammer battle reports with the models, with the actual models. Or Carnivale, I did a Carnivale battle report. They just take too long to make, unfortunately. Next up we have Warriors Orochi 2. Sequel to the first game, again, Dynasty Warriors style game. SpaghettiOs, YouTube didn't like that. Power cut in MVL Street. Alright, don't worry, we will be back. There we go, we're back. Alright, so we should have reconnected. So, let's continue. So what did it leave off? It left off with Warriors Orochi 2, that's fine. And we're back. So Warriors Orochi 2, I'll show the back of that again. A Dynasty Warriors style game, you get the characters from Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors together. And this is complete with the disco manual, but I do have a little bit of sticker damage on the case, which I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of sticker damage right there. But there you go. And we're back. I know, right? I guess YouTube doesn't like Warriors Orochi 2. I think one of the first streams I did was Warriors Orochi or Dynasty Warriors. I did test streams on Twitch and I uploaded them to YouTube. But ever since then I've been you know, YouTube. Anyway, Wet was the next game we moved on to. I hope this will whet your appetite. It's a really good game. Lots of shooting, lots of hack and slash action, lots of acrobatics, a lot of fun. This is going to be my next Patreon Let's Play. So if you guys follow the Patreon, a little as $1 a month. My next Let's Play on Patreon will be Wet. Did a lot of cool stuff on that already. And this is a really good game, actually. Really good game. Although I will have to turn off the sound for this to capture it, I think. AKA Moist. What's my favourite Xbox 360 game? That is a tough question, actually. I guess I had a lot of fun. With Fable 2. I wouldn't say it's my favourite. Favourite is going to be real tough, actually. You know what? Let me pick the Orange Box Collection because that's got Portal and Half-Life 2 on it, and I love those games. They're not necessarily my favorite Xbox 360 games, but I love those games. Yeah, for some reason nothing actually comes to mind other than that. So I'm gonna say that, and just because Half-Life 2 is so good. So Half-Life 2 would probably be my favorite game of the games I've mentioned thus far. So I'm gonna pick the Orange Box Collection and cheat a little bit because that gives me Portal as well. Portal and Half-Life 2. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. Even though I prefer Half-Life 2 on the PC. But yeah, on to the chat. What's your favorite Xbox 360 game, guys? Always want to try that one? Yeah, it's a really cool. It's a really cool game. We'll be doing a Patreon video of that, of a Let's Play, and that's gonna be it's gonna be coming soon. I've got to finish off my pickups video, which is coming in a week or so for September, of all that good stuff. Of all the stuff I picked up, so still recording gameplay footage for that actually. So that's coming. Woo, that's coming. This is Mass Effect 2. I haven't played the Mass Effect games actually. I need to get them. There's a gap in the M section. I need Mass Effect. Yeah, Wet is a really cool looking game. It's actually really fun. Bulletstorm was interesting. Bulletstorm is pretty good as well. Pretty good. Next up we have the Worms collection. We've got Worms. We've got Worms. All right, 3 great Worm games in one collection. I believe this also includes Worms Ultimate Mayhem. One of these is essentially Worms 3D from the original Xbox or PC, which I had it on. And it's a better version. It's a better version. It includes 6 bonus packs as well. It's got Worms 2 Armageddon on it. It's got a lot of good games on. But it's got the best way to play some of those games, I think. Again, a good collection to get all of them in one as well. Everyone loves Bulletstorm. I know, right? It's really good. But there you go. I streamed this once actually. I streamed this once, and I think I named all of the worms either streamers that I knew or people that I knew. So that was pretty funny. All right, we're on to the W's. We're on to the W's with Worms, of course. So we have to talk about the 2K games. 2K14. This one has the Ultimate Warrior. Rock on the cover. Not a fan, honestly. I'm a big fan of wrestling games. I'm a big fan of wrestling games, but I'm not a fan of the 2K games. I don't like them. I don't like them. They're just too wrestling sim. They're too slow. The other games are much faster, much more fun. So yeah, that's what I don't like about this. Does this have a reversible cover? What? So inside it looks like it's got a reversible cover, but why? Why does it have a reversible cover? Well, it's the same. Oh, it's Daniel Bryan. So you can have the Rock or Daniel Bryan. I see. That's interesting. That is interesting. I'm gonna leave that pulled out and fix it later. I was like, why has it got a reversible cover? It looks the same. You smell what the Rock is cooking? So night she's spent making Worms armies. I know, right? 2K15. I think I kept giving them a chance. I kept giving them a chance, my friends. I really wanted them to be as good as the old games. As Here Comes the Pain. Often, you know, there'll be a superstar in the game that I really want to play as well. This one does not have a reversible cover, so I don't need to pull it out and mess it up. 2K15. I'm going to move on to a wrestling game that I actually quite like. And it is WWE All-Stars. This one includes the $1 Million Man pack, but it doesn't really because, you know, I got this second hand. This one has much more arcade-style action, much faster gameplay. And the finishing moves in this game have you throwing your opponents from a tremendous heights, really cartoon style. So I really enjoyed that. So this game's a lot more fun. I would recommend this. Shut Your Mouth was a great WWE game. It was indeed. I'd recommend All Stars if you're looking for a great wrestling game. Next up we have X-Blades. And you might focus on something in particular on this cover. This is the PAL artwork. I don't know why they did this on the. Well, I mean, I say I don't know why. We know why they did this. We know why the game looks like that, don't we? There you go. That's what the PAL artwork looks like. Her looks can kill. It says. Sure they can. It is a hack and slash game, adventure game. Pretty cool. I actually got the sequel to this recently on the PlayStation 3. And I forget what that's called, but I got it recently. And I actually want to get the PlayStation 3 version of X-Blades because it has a bonus mission on it as well. Never heard of the game? It's alright. The controls are a little weird. But it's an okay game. There's footage for it in one of my pickup videos down the line somewhere, actually. It was pretty cool. Xbox exclusive? It is not. I'm looking to get the PS3 version because the PS3 version has an extra level or something like that. Alright, next up we have the Xbox Live Arcade compilation. This has a bunch of games on the disc and a bunch of demos as well. But it's really good to get this because eventually this stuff's not going to be accessible. You won't be able to download this stuff anymore, so it's good to get this compilation. And this includes 5 games plus a couple of trials. It's got Pac-Man Championship Edition, which is very good. And I think that's the only one I really care about. It's got Feeding Frenzy, but yeah, Pac-Man Championship Edition is the only really thing I care about this. No manual, but I don't believe there was a manual. There might have been an Xbox Live trial in there or something, but there you go. On to the Ys and Ys because I gotta. We have Ninja Gaiden Z. Is it Gaiden or Gaiden? I can't remember. And this is a special edition. This also includes a comic book in this edition. This is a hack and slash game. A lot of fun. Continuing the great series. And as you can see there, it does include a comic book. Just a little extra. A little extra in this version. And then, finally, my friends, we have U-Star. U-Star 2. This is a Kinect game where you put yourself in the movies. It does require the Kinect to play. You can act out scenes from like The Godfather, The Hangover 300, Terminator, Kick-Ass, and Star Trek. There's 80 scenes included. Really, when I got this, I was intending to do a YouTube series of it because there was DLC to get loads, like tons of Star Trek scenes, and I just wanted to do a load of improv comedy over a bunch of Star Trek scenes, but unfortunately you can't download any of that stuff anymore, so that was my plan. Other than that, this isn't really that good. It's not really that good. You just add yourself in the scenes. It's fun with friends, just to mess around, but it's not really that good a game. Sounds really interesting. Yeah, the Yaiba is actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, I do have a couple of pickups I can show you, my friends. A couple of pickups. First of all, I picked this up today actually for the PlayStation 2. And I've never seen one of these before, so it's pretty interesting. It is the Havoc PlayStation 2 stand. But what's really interesting about this particular stand, other than the fact that it has the multi-tap features, which are somewhat standard, it has video out features on it. So it has video out features. On there it has S-Video and RGB SCART. It has 3 RGB SCARTs and AV. So this is really interesting. Your PlayStation goes in there, and I guess, you know, you put, for some reason, I don't know why you'd want to put games in there, but you can put games in there. I don't know why you want to do that. Haven't found anything out about this. I don't know anything about it. The splitter features are very useful. That's what I want about it. So what I want to use this for is I sometimes stream light gun games, and light gun games need a CRT TV, which I have. Seems like a waste. It's actually a pretty cool idea. So I use a CRT TV to do light gun games. Hey, Dead Insight, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, buddy? I'm doing well, thanks for asking. This way I can send one SCART to my TV, my CRT TV, to use the light gun, and then the other to an HDMI upscaler for you guys to see. So I don't need to mess around with a SCART splitter. I can do it all in one. So with those functions, this will be, if it works, this will be really useful. So that could be really cool. Other than that, I haven't heard about this. I don't know how much it's worth. I paid a $5 for it. Paid a $5 for it. You're on about the side, yeah. I don't know why you would want to put games on the side, because they would be so close to the console they would heat up, right? And I guess what, you got 4 games you really love so much that you want to put them on the side. It seems ridiculous, right? It seems ridiculous, but yeah, there you go. They decided to put those there. You got an old TV specifically for light gun games? Yeah, I know, right? You bought X-Blades. Nice one, Gaz. Nice one. I know. I wonder why you bought it. Maybe it's the cover. Looks ace. But yeah, CRT TV, great for retro gaming, and especially for light gun games. But yeah, this was a really interesting find from Charity Shop. They had it bundled with a PS2, and thankfully I was well known in the place, so they did split it up for me, and they sold me this separately. But thankfully they didn't really think that this was worth anything, because you know, sometimes charity shops I think a $5 is perfectly reasonable. I honestly don't know how much this is worth. It would be between 5 and 10. But yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere, so I think 5 is fine for it. But yeah, they took it out for the PlayStation 2 bundle they're doing, and they didn't drop the price of the PS2 bundle they were selling without it, so it's pretty funny. Alright, but that was a pretty good find, if it works as intended. You still have a CRT TV. They're great for retro gaming. They are definitely. Over here in Europe we have RGB SCART, which is a very good way to experience retro games on a CRT TV as well. You got rid of one of yours, and it was a massive mistake, guys. I used to have a bigger one. I used to have a much bigger CRT TV, which you'll see on one of my old game room tours. I got rid of my huge one. I just have a small one now because I couldn't have space. What letter am I on now? I'm out of the alphabet completely, my friend. We're doing a couple of pickups that I got at the end of the stream. We did a PS2 multi-tap kind of stand thing. Your Xbox for $8.99. That's not that bad actually. That's pretty good. And the next pickup I got is a case variant I don't have, and it is Sonic Unleashed. I didn't have this game as well, but this is a case variant. Xbox Classic split screen. It says Family Games. I don't have this game. I haven't played many of the 3D Sonic games, but this looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. I know Kamuri's been playing some of the Sonic games recently. What W games? I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I had WWE All Stars, and I had 2K15 or something, and some of those. I had some of those ones. Sonic Unleashed. There you go, with everything. You need to go to CX's. CX's do have a lot of retro stuff. As long as I don't own Sonic 06. I don't have Sonic 06, but I kind of want it. I do kind of want it. All Stars is very good, actually. You like Sonic Unleashed? Werewolf level's a bit strange. Yeah, I'll have to play it. And then the last pickup I have is Xbox Live Arcade Unplugged. This includes a month trial subscription, but it's probably not active. And the only reason I got this is for Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, which is like a space shooter where you survive against hordes of enemies. That's the only real reason I got this. The other games look pretty bad. It's got like poker and backgammon. So yeah, I don't really feel so great about the rest of the games on this. This is Volume 1. There never was a Volume 2. There never was a Volume 2. They never did it, Volume 2. But they did do other compilations like the arcade compilation I showed you previously. And they did like the Capcom collection and stuff like that. What's that game about? The Geometry Wars is just a space shooter. There's also a platformer on there with Wick, Fable of Souls. But other than that, the rest of the games don't look that interesting on that collection, to be fair. Can't be more bad than Superman 64. Yeah, that game was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Whoa, and there you have it, guys. We've gone through all of my Xbox 360 games in just under 3 hours. So, with that said, let's see if we can continue the fun on someone else's stream. Let's see if we can set up a raid. And you know what? You know what, my friends? I think. Oh, you know, I need to update my YouTube right now to see who's streaming. I thought someone was, but they weren't when I clicked on it. Yeah, let's do a raid. Let's continue the fun. All right, let's see who we can find on here. All right. Oh, everyone I click on is not streaming. Oh, great. Awesome. Okay. Well, this was a danger of doing this, wasn't it? Wasn't it, right? Okay. I found someone. He popped in here for a like earlier. So that was good of him. So there we go. Let's hey, I see you, Juliana lurking. He popped in to give a like earlier, so let's go raid Mr. Otaku. And if you go to the link provided in the chat and drop the hashtag MVL raid, we'll raid him up and spread the love. I love you too. Just like do love. That's not do love. I'm getting names wrong again. Bubba the Love Sponge. There we go. Bubba the Love Sponge. Just like Bubba the Love Sponge. Yeah, he's always popping in for like, he's a great dude. So let's give him a raid. Hashtag MVL raid. And then other than that, guys, if you like the video, please leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. And if you'd like to, you can also support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. You get exclusive videos and all that good stuff. And other than that, guys, once again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. I really appreciate you guys. I've been MVL, and I will catch you next time.